I step into the day with the dawn ringing in my ears. Well, I tune into my TV show. No better way, I gotta get myself into gear. Let's go. Oh, and I feel good today with my wake up in the morning espresso. I feel good today. It's my feel good breakfast show.
Yes, top of the morning to you, beautiful souls. Yes, and welcome to another edition of your Feel Good Breakfast Show, the midweek edition. And we've got a show for you this morning. Good morning, you beautiful people. Now with it, of course, around the corner next week. Yes, it's already here. We've invited food blogger of My Hungry Husband. She goes by the name of Ilham Banubai Anwar, and she's in the kitchen for some celebratory recipes. And on the menu, we've got the following. Let's just make you salivate. For starters, we've got a mini quiche and ottolenghi's baked rice. Yeah, interesting stuff indeed. For mains, don't worry, we got you covered, and it gets even better. Persian roast leg of lamb rice. And of course, third course coming through. That's dessert. It's a 10-minute baklava. Simple as that. The mouth, the belly is going to absolutely love it, and I know you're going to do the same too. So we are not stopping there. We're carrying on, adding some more magic to the menu, because we'll be taking things a little bit more serious and chatting about healthy versus unhealthy debt. Now, how do we ensure that we don't live beyond our means and that we prioritize clearing our debt and encouraging more saving after payday? Now, it's an interesting question, but of course, on top of the list, when it comes to the menu this morning, we've got entertainment. And entertaining us this morning is the gifted young star, Giselle Niemand, in the building. She's a singer, an actor, a model, a dancer. And the question only is like, what can't she do? Honestly, we're going to find out, and you're going to have to stick around to find out more. But someone that's standing by right now to also wish you top of the morning. Good morning, lad. How we doing?
Just need a cap to doff. I'm doffing my figurative cap this morning. So good to be connecting with you. Morning, sun. Great to be connecting with you as well. Great to have you back in studio. And to all of you out there, good morning. Welcome to it. It's going to be a beautiful midweek session on your Feel Good Breakfast Show. Yes, it's all about the culinary delights today, normally on a Wednesday. So we've got to throw in a little bit of gristle, something for you to chew on this morning. And that gristle today is debt. How does it play out in your world? I know this is an interesting one post-COVID. A lot of people grappling with big debt. How do we turn that into good debt? What is good debt? How do you feel about it? That's what we want to chat about this morning. So I want to know how comfortable you are with the notion of debt. Do you use your credit card on the daily, once a month for those big purchases? Or are you all about only taking a loan when you really need it for a house, for a car? Where do you sit in that financial journey? And if you've got any financial advice on how to save better, please share it with us. 063-406-8863 or 408-8863 is the number to use. In fact, if you want to chat about anything on the show today, do it. And so good to have Giselle Niemand back in studio. I've been watching what she's been doing across the globe. She is going to light it up. So show her some love as well on her socials. But let's give you a few of those talking points before I get into the news headlines. Raul's got the latest on the news front.
Thank you, G-Man. Yes, of course, official duties must commence. So let us start with official duties being national headlines first. Now, the two men who appeared in the Bloemfontein Magistrates Court yesterday on charges of allegedly helping Thabo Bester escape prison. We're talking about Dr. Nandipa Magudumana's father, Zolile Cornelius Sekeleni, and former G4S prison warder, Senoge Matsuara. Now, they will remain in custody until their next appearance. And Magudumana's 65-year-old father was arrested on Good Friday at his home in Port Edward, KwaZulu-Natal. And former G4S employee Senoge Matsuara, of 38 years old, was arrested at his residence in Bloemfontein on Saturday. Now, the matter against the pair was deferred to Monday for bail proceedings. Well, sticking to our national headlines, the death toll from Monday's multiple vehicle crash near Hilton in KwaZulu-Natal now stands at 6 after the death of another person in a Pietermaritzburg hospital. Now, at least 78 people were injured in the crash, in which more than 40 cars, taxis, and trucks were involved. Now, some 2,000 vehicles per hour were traveling on the N3 between Durban and Gauteng when the chain collision forced traffic to a standstill. Now, the Hilton Town Hall was made available to assist motorists who had to rest overnight. Well, from our national news headlines, we head over to international news. Now, Algeria's state energy conglomerate, otherwise known as Sonatrach, has announced that it has made 6 oil and gas discoveries in the first quarter of this year. Now, they have yielded more than 1.5 million cubic meters of gas, as well as smaller amounts of oil. Now, it is announced it will produce 200 million tons of oil equivalent this year, which is an amount not achieved since 2010. Now, territorially, Algeria is OPEC's largest member country and the biggest country in Africa. Now, the oil and gas sector is the backbone of its economy. Well, carrying on with international headlines, the French President Emmanuel Macron and his wife Brigitte have been welcomed to the palace in Amsterdam by King Willem Alexander and Queen Maxima of the Netherlands for the first French state visit in 23 years. Now, the visit takes place shortly after Macron ruffled many feathers by commenting that Europe has no interest in fueling the unrest in Taiwan. Now, he said Europe must be independent of the USA and China, and political analysts in Europe and the US have slammed Macron, saying he's being far too lenient towards China. Well, next up in our headlines, something that will definitely inspire. A project that uses invasive carp to feed underprivileged communities along the Garden Route and in the Little Karoo has so far fed some 100,000 people, and it continues to grow. Now, the project is basically a combined effort between the Gift of the Givers, Cape Nature, and several other stakeholders. Now, the carp, which is bad for the local environment, is harvested and used as much-needed meals for those in need. Now, this is viewed by stakeholders as a win-win situation. Now, carp is an invasive species allegedly introduced to the Groenvlei Lake at Sedgefield in the 1990s. Now, their growing numbers have led to poor water quality and the collapse of a once outstanding bass fishery. Now, the mass fishing of carp is being done in an effort to return the lake to its former glory. This addresses the problem of invasive carp that has long plagued the Garden Route freshwater lakes, and also tackles the problem of hunger, which was exacerbated by the COVID-19 pandemic. Well, for me, indeed, a win-win situation. Well, let's see who else was winning when it comes to sport, and here's G with the latest.
Big wins, my brother. Let's turn to football and Europe to start our sports watch this morning. Manchester City took a giant stride towards their Champions League semi-finals with an outstanding performance to overpower Bayern Munich 3-0 last night. Rodri opening the scoring with a screamer from outside the box. While Bernardo Silva, he added the second. Then just 6 minutes later, who else but Erling Haaland got his name on the score sheet. Forget this, a 45th time this season, 45 goals. Probably more than most teams in the Premier League. Now, elsewhere, Romelu Lukaku scored a brace, including an 82nd minute penalty as Inter Milan were able to see off Benfica 2-0 to get the early lead there. Then we turn to cricket, and skipper Rohit Sharma, he smashed 65 as Mumbai Indians edged out the Delhi Capitals by 6 wickets in a last ball IPL thriller to register their first win of the season in a hard-fought one. Mumbai's chase of 173 moved to that final delivery when impact player Tim David and Cameron Green got the winning runs to hand host Delhi their 4th straight loss in as many matches. Then earlier, David Warner, he led by example with a 51 as his side were bowled out with more than an over to spare. And Jason Behrendorff and Piyush Chawla both taking 3 wickets in that bowling attack. And we turn to tennis, and Novak Djokovic looks like he's back to winning ways as he makes a good return to competition in Monte Carlo for the Masters there after beating Russian qualifier Ivan Gakov 7-6 and 6-2. So Djokovic is back on court after failing to get a waiver to enter the United States for last month's Indian Wells tournament and Miami Open due to his anti-COVID vaccination stance. Then Stefanos Tsitsipas is also advancing to the 3rd round after Frenchman Benjamin Bonzi retired with a left wrist issue. It was after just 22 minutes of their encounter, trailing the Greek 4-1 in that first set. And Alex Zverev made a hesitant start to his clay court season for seeing off Kazakh Alexander Bublik 3-6, 6-2, 6-4 in the first round. Then let's turn to 2 wheels now and back into MotoGP. And Marc Marquez said he is not returning. He's going to miss MotoGP's Grand Prix of the Americas in Austin this weekend as he continues to recover from that hand injury. So the Spaniard underwent surgery on his right hand after a collision in that season opening race in Portugal last month. Repsol Honda said in a statement that a decision had been made to let the hand heal fully and avoid any unnecessary risks. The 30-year-old has a stellar record at the Circuit of the Americas. He's going to miss this one. He's won 6 years on the trot between 2013 and 2018, so he'll be missed, but I'm sure we'll still get the excitement. But that's where we leave our sport for this hour of the show. Let's get our first take on the weather.
Thank Thank you so much, She-Man. Yes, time to take a look at the weather, and firstly, reporting on weather news. Now, this morning we again focus on matters water. Now, this time in the Western Cape, where authorities have set aside 1.1 billion rand towards its 15-year plan to manage water supply and the demand. Now, the province says it's being proactive to avoid a day zero, which was nearly experienced in 2018. Now, Premier Alan Winde says predictions are that the population of the city of Cape Town will have doubled to 8 million residents by the year 2030. Now, he says with the unpredictable rainy seasons and the increase in population, they need to be prepared. Now, plans include innovative technologies on the reuse of water, the preservation of aquifers, and tips on wise water usage. Now, they also include a relook at water catchment areas so as to collect as much water as possible. Now, Winde also added with a quote saying, while the country is currently consumed with load shedding and smart electricity usage, I propose investments in bulk water projects and smart water usage. Well, interesting stuff indeed, and let's hope it pays off. But for now, though, we go from weather news to sunrise views. Yes, and it always puts a smile on our face. Starting us off this morning, we've got Jeannie all the way in Pietermaritzburg, who showed off a twilight view, up and early, ready to start the day. Well done, well played. I love it. Now, next up, we've got Mark in George capturing rays of light beaming through the clouds over the city. And what a powerful shot indeed. A magic moment to witness. Reiki comes through next in Brits, showcasing a violet-filled sky. Still nice and early. The sun hasn't even come up yet. Yeah, definitely getting the worm on this one. But last up, we've got Philippa in Stellenbosch, enjoying the sunrise from her garden, embracing the stunning mountains. Ooh. What a sight to wake up to. Absolutely love it. And again, Mzansis, thank you for sending those incredible pictures in. We love seeing how you start your day wherever you are, and keep them coming on 063-408-8863. For now, though, let's take a first look at the temperatures across the country. Starting off in Polokwane, the day starting at a low of 10 up to 25 degrees. Mbombela sees the day starting at 14 up to 27 with rain expected. Pretoria, 12 up to a high of 25 degrees. And Johannesburg starting the day on 12 up to a high of 22 degrees with minor rainfall potentially on your side of the town. Over to Mahikeng now. The day starts at a low of 11 up to 26 degrees. Klerksdorp, similar conditions from 10 up to 27. No rainfall expected. And similar conditions in Kimberley, 9 up to a high of 28 degrees. Bloemfontein bringing the chill from 4 degrees all the way up to 25 degrees Celsius. Around the coast now and moving over to Richards Bay, your day starts at a low of 19 up to 27 degrees. Much the same for Pietermaritzburg, 12 up to a high of 25. Durban sees your day starting at 18 up to a moderate 25 degrees. And Mthatha, 10 is your low up to a high of 24 degrees Celsius. Carrying on around the coast now, over to East London, where your day starts at 16 up to 22 degrees. Cradock sees the day starting at 11 up to 26. GQ Mberga sees the day starting at 13 up to 20. And George, 11 is your low up to a high of 19 degrees. Around the coast, and we're continuing to the mother city now in Cape Town to be specific. A little bit of rainfall expected. Your low is 12 up to a high of 18 degrees. Worcester sees the day starting at 6 up to 23. Sutherland, a chilly start of 8 up to 21. And Uppington, always bringing in the heat from 10 up to a high of 31 degrees Celsius. Again, Mzansi, thank you for sending those pictures through. Keep using the number 063-408-8863 because we'd love to see how you start your day.
Good morning to the boys behind the scenes, keeping the show going, and to you as well. If you've only just joined in, where have you been? It's a Wednesday, which means culinary delights. So I'm going to cleanse my palate with a little bit of cranberry and just to energize myself just a little bit. It is the Eid edition of our culinary hotline this morning, and Chef Clem, I know he takes a lot of responsibility when it comes to these very special days. He is ready to answer your questions. Ilham is here as well. They are experts in the space. Please enlighten them. If you've got some family gems, some recipes that need to be shared, some tips on how to cook, please share. This is a two-way flow. 063-408-8863. The culinary hotline is going to open in just a moment. It's going to be a lot of fun. There it is. So I'm going to do, just to get you warmed up, let me warm myself up first. All right, and I want to hear this coming from outside the studio. So you've got to get up, scream it outside your windows. In a few moments, we're going to begin the culinary hotline. Bling! It's a lot of bass, a lot of bass.
Only you can make my day. It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Good morning, South Africa. My name's Clem Pedro. It's Wednesday. You heard the jingle. We're in the kitchen, which means it's the culinary hotline bling. Ching, ching, ching. It's going to be an amazing morning, and with Eid right around the corner, we thought we'd bring in someone special this morning to give you some inspiration, all those cooking tips that you need for that very special day. And in the kitchen, we have Ilam Bunabai from My Hungry Husband. And I actually used to call her Chef Bunabai because she was my chef instructor, right?
No.
We're going to talk about that in a second.
That was a long time ago. Maybe we shouldn't talk about
I want to go there. But if you have any questions for myself or Chef Bunabai, please text us, send us a message on that magic number, 063-408-8863. I want to get questions about Eid. I want to also know, what are you doing on Eid? I want to know, what are you making? I want to know all of that. So if you want to send us some messages through, send it to that WhatsApp number. Let's get cooking. I'm very excited. I'm seeing my favorite ingredient in the whole entire world, and it's actually not meat. It's rice.
It's oh.
Out of all the
Man
carbs,
after my own heart,
I choose rice over bread. I choose rice
Yes.
over pasta. Is that you as well?
Like, you can eat rice every day.
If you have rice in the house, you have a meal, right?
Totally agree, 100%.
So what are we making today?
We are making a baked rice. So we're actually going to take our rice that's been washed. Now with basmati, you know, you can actually soak it if you want it to get really nice and long, fluffy grains.
Is that the trick to get in that? I want to say it almost gets like a extended tail, almost like Jasmine does sometimes.
Yeah.
Is the trick about soaking it?
Yeah, so if you soak it, it's going to get even fluffier and even longer than if you just had to go in with raw rice.
And how long do we soak it for? So we wash it first, right?
So,
and then soak.
Well, with basmati, it's not that starchy, so you don't I mean, you can wash it, but then you can soak it maybe even just for half an hour.
Okay, amazing.
Yeah. So I'm just putting my rice into this container with some butter, and I'm going in with some water. And then I'm going to season this with some salt and some pepper. And you know, you can actually season this if you've got some rice spice or something like that that you want to do. You can put some of that on. And then we're going to put some mint on the top.
Mint on the top, okay.
Yes.
I've not done that before, so I
So-
mean, does it perfume it? Does it give it that minty flavor?
It does. And now this is actually like very Persian-inspired dish. So that goes into the oven, cover it with some foil, and then this will actually bake in like 20 minutes.
In
And it will
20 minutes?
Yeah, and it will be really nice and fluffy, and you won't have to worry about it. I love recipes like that. And then once that is baked, we're going to make this really delicious salsa. So we've got some olives and some like toasted walnuts. Remember, with nuts, you always need to toast them.
Right.
I think that was like a first-year lesson, Clement.
That's right. Toasting nuts and baking bread. Was I a good student? Did I ever, was I like respectful?
You know, I'll be honest, I remember what I gave you for the bread class. I think I gave you 5 out of 5 because you made really beautiful bread.
It didn't come from me, South Africa. It came from my chef instructor. But I must say, besides just learning about cooking, I feel like learning how to cook gives you so many fundamental skills in life.
It does.
I mean, it's also like such an amazing skill to take something that's raw and in its like purest state and then put it together with other things and you make like the most amazing creations.
It does. I feel like it's really empowering to know, you know, how to cook yourself a meal in the kitchen. So with the salsa, I've just put a whole lot of really fresh, fragrant ingredients in here. So there's some walnuts, the pomegranate molasses.
Pomegranate molasses?
Yeah, and that, you know, pomegranate molasses, I think a good substitute if people are scared of buying this as an ingredient. You could use like a balsamic vinegar. Very
Right.
similar, like to add, or maybe like a balsamic reduction to add that same sort of like tangy, sweet, sour taste.
Sweet and sour taste, because that's exactly what you get from it. It's absolutely delicious, almost tamarindy. And I feel like it kind of just, it's almost like when we squeeze lemon over food, that a bit of acid just brightens everything.
Exactly, so that's
delicious.
So before we do that, we've got some feta that's going on our rice that has just come out of the oven. And then we're gonna hit that with this delicious salsa.
I like day-old cooked rice. I feel like it's a little drier, it holds its shape a little better. Could we actually bake this rice the day before and then dress it?
You could totally do that. But then you just, I would re-steam it. I would just maybe add a little bit of liquid into the rice, and then I would just re-steam it. So then, you know, especially with Eid, if you're prepping from the night before, you could do that before the time.
I can smell this from like a mile away. This is absolutely amazing. So, I mean, the combination of those nuts, the beautiful like pomegranate rubies, jewels, and then the olives, it's like, it's really a flavor sensation. You've got salty, sweet, tangy, nutty, crunchy.
And those are all the flavors that I love so much. So then this would be something really nice to have on your Eid table. You know, you can serve it with what we're making later, but even on its own as a side, as like a really nice side dish.
For those veggies that are out there, I feel like this is a really great one because it's got a lot of like body to it, so they're not going to be lacking in any way. I feel like the meat eaters are going to be attracted to it as well, just because there's so much going on flavor and texture-wise. I absolutely love this. It's delicious.
And then I've also got some puff pastry here. So this is another side that you can make. That's also really quick and easy. So I've just got some puff pastry and I'm going to cut it into like some squares. And the great thing about this is that it's also super quick and easy to make. And you can also make this beforehand. So you can just put your puff pastry, just line your muffin tray with it. And then what's cool about this is you can use any sort of like filling you want. So, you know, maybe you could even do different fillings. If you've got some, like some butternut, you can put some butternut, some roasted butternut pieces.
Is that what we're working with today?
Yeah, so we've got we're just making some mini quiches.
Oh, yes.
So I love this recipe because you can, you know, sometimes in your fridge you've got like little bits of everything left over. Maybe you've got a little bit of chicken left over, a little bit of roasted veggies. You could totally just repurpose it like this. So...
And I feel like quiches are the one food that cross like all meal, like from breakfast, lunch, dinner. Quiche is fine.
Yes.
So it's a great, you're right, it is a great way to use up any leftovers that we have in the fridge. And again, I feel like it's that buttery exterior with the super creamy, like eggy filling that just make it so delicious. I absolutely love quiches. We're gonna bring back quiches in 2023.
We are.
We're going to.
I think this is great party food as well. So, and when you make them like individual, they just look so cute. So that's my basic quiche, and then I've got some cream here, but we're gonna do half and half cream and then milk. So the cream is just going to make it even more rich. And we've got 1 egg in there.
Is the egg kind of just like what binds it and makes it set?
Yeah, so the egg, we're basically making like a savory custard.
Right.
So I'm gonna
Or we
season
call it
that
a royale in chef school.
with some salt and some pepper, and then I'll just basically pour this into my...
What temp would you bake it? I think puff pastry always 200, right?
So you can do it at 200, and you don't need to pre-bake the shells or anything like that.
Right. That's amazing. We are gonna bake those off, so when we come back to the second part, we're gonna see exactly what that looks like when it's done. South Africa, don't forget to send us your voice notes. Ilam, Chef Bunabai, it's been absolutely amazing. You're not going anywhere?
I'm not.
You're gonna be back?
Here.
Yes. But can you give me the loudest ting, ting, ting you've ever given in your life? Culinary Hotline Bling!
Ting, ting, ting!
Don't go anywhere.
Are you a rising star in the kitchen, ready to bake it till you make it? Then enter the new season of Tastemaster SA, brought to you by tried and trusted Royal Baking Powder on SABC2, where you could win 50,000 rands worth of prizes and become a baking legend. Visit thetastemaster.co.za, share a video about yourself and why you love baking with Royal Baking Powder. Entries close on 23 April, T's and C's apply.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back, you beauties. Time to be inspired. If you're looking to take your life to another level, to 100%. Crush is bringing you another episode of Unlock Your 100% on SABC2 tonight at 7:30 p.m. And of course, Ryle is going to be going on a journey to help viewers unlock your 100% and live your full potential. And we are about to sit down with another lucky entrant. I want to say lucky loosely because I think he earned the right to be here. Cassidy Marriott, all the way from East London originally. His lifelong dream is to become a commercial diver, and I have a feeling he has taken a massive step or dive towards that. Cassidy, great to connect with you, my friend. How are you doing?
Awesome, man. I'm doing great. Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
Absolute pleasure to have you here. We've been watching these journeys unfold, and I think Ryle's the right person for it because he's one of the most enthusiastic human beings on the planet. And he's certainly unlocked his 100%. But I'm going to go back to the beginning of your journey, something that always interests me when one person chooses one coast over another. You've moved to Hermanus. Why the shift to the Western Cape?
So originally I was selling property in East London. And, you know, with having the Transkei over there, you know, I got to see, like, the wonders of the
the
water.
wild coast, yeah.
Yeah, man. So Hermanus was definitely the next step for me in terms of property side. And that's sort of what brought me there.
And some beautiful properties there, man. So that's
100%.
so that's the main hustle that could potentially become a side hustle because you have an intent on becoming a commercial diver. Why? What is it about working under the water that has got this kind of fire burning in you?
So I did construction in the Eastern Cape, particularly in PE. So being around the port and stuff like that, I saw, you know, a lot of commercial divers in and around me. And, you know, with my love for the water, I thought, you know, I can do that too. So, you know, that's where it really started. And yeah, that's kind of the reason why.
And then you got to take the step and you get involved with this crazy team that is pushing you to achieve this. Now that you've entered into that process, how does it feel? Is it matching up to what you thought it would feel like now that you've taken these first few steps?
100%. So, I mean, it is a lot different to what I thought it might be, but I'm loving every moment of it. I can't wait to, you know, actually pursue it 100%.
Is it 100%?
Yeah.
What's it going to take now that you've had time to kind of come to terms with the ecosystem that you're playing in, never mind the fact that you're going to be spending hours underwater.
Yeah.
Is it matching up to what you expected? What do you think is going to be needed to make this work? Now, how are you kind of realigning your goals?
So definitely taking one step at a time, learning from you know, my superiors and my supervisors, and just fully immersing myself in the industry. You know, it's something that I really wanted to do. And now that I'm there, you know, it just seems a bit all surreal, but...
And it will. I'm sure every step is going to feel like that. I would imagine in a career place like this, having the right kind of support structure is good. You're going to need a mentor, people to show you the ropes, because there's always pressure. How does it feel when you're under the water in that moment, when you're now seeing and feeling this all play out? It just terrifies me, the notion of going underwater around those ships, doing that sort of thing. It's crazy. How did it feel actually doing this, with this idea being there for such a long time?
Well, it was a dream come true. And I'm just, you know, I love being underwater. You know, doing the NSRI, doing skippers courses and things like that. My love for the ocean has always been there. And, you know, I did a little free diving, and that's where it actually, you know, started. And I just wanted I wanted to be at the pinnacle of my game. So that's why I chose the commercial diving, you know. But it feels truly amazing being underneath it. It's like being in space under the water. It's surreal.
I was going to say, it's a completely different environment, man. So please just stay safe, dude. Just stay safe while you're doing it. All of this being said, you had to, at a point, kick yourself in the butt and step up and take that leap. What advice do you have for someone else, maybe not necessarily wanting to literally dive into the water, but someone wanting to take that leap in their own life to unlock their 100%? What advice do you have, bro?
Well, I can truly say, if you can dream it, you can do it.
Yeah.
And you have to be extremely fit is one thing, because that equipment is extremely heavy.
It's hardcore, eh?
It's really heavy. But besides that, man, obviously finding the best school that you could possibly do,
train at.
I mean, so commercial diving, Jack's dive chest definitely one of the best in South Africa, kind of one of the only ones in South Africa, top of the list. So, yeah, I would just say go get it, really. You know, you gotta push yourself because it's not an easy job. And working offshore is extremely dangerous for one.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of benefits that come with it for sure.
It's extremely well paid, bro. It's extremely well paid if you get
Well,
the right
that
gig,
too.
my buddy. And that's, I have a feeling you've got the fortitude, you've proven that, to just keep pushing despite whatever obstacles are going to be thrown in your way. So well done, buddy. Congratulations on taking the first step. I cannot wait to interview you again when you own your own commercial diving company and you are selling contracts offshore. Buddy, it's so cool to see you in this phase of the journey. Just stay strong and stay safe, bud.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
So cool. Maybe it's not too late for me to think about a shift in my career path. I love this. So we want to just sprinkle a little bit more of that positivity on you right now and give you the chance to win 500 Rand in cash. And if you want to enter, you've got to visit the Clover Crush Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram pages and answer their weekly question. And this week we are asking you, how will you be unlocking your 100% this week? It doesn't have to be a big gain, can be something small. Just wow us, inspire us. And don't forget to include #Crush in that answer. Competition closes at the end of the week, but you can find all the terms and conditions on clover.co.za. Most importantly, don't miss tonight's episode. It's going to take us deep. And it's 7:30 on SABC2. Be inspired to unlock your 100%.
It's The Crush. Unlock your 100% TV show. Catch all the excitement as we unlock Crush fans' full potential to live their dreams. Watch the show on SABC2 starting on the 1st of February every Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. Plus, you stand a chance to win your share of thousands of prizes. Simply buy any Crush and follow the pack for entry details. Crush. 100% goodness. Oh, yes, it's time indeed. But firstly, big ups to Cassidy, brother. I absolutely love what you're doing and inspiring at the same time. So maybe we can inspire you too, Mzansi. So it's that time of the morning to get up from the couch, move the coffee table, and get our bodies moving. And all you'll need is your own body weight. No equipment needed whatsoever. Don't worry about it. Now, CrossFit is what's happening this morning, and it's a fitness program that challenges you to break out of your routine. Now, the functional movements utilized are the ones we use in both sport and our daily activities. We're talking about running, jumping, squatting, lunging, pushing, pulling, you name it. Now, our very own Kukli Adams has tried her hand at some beginner workouts with CrossFit trainer Chris Wolcott. Let's see how she did.
What's happening, everybody? I hope that you are feeling good this morning. We are coming to you all charged up and ready to move our bodies at the Greenside CrossFit at Pirates Club in Johannesburg with CrossFit trainer Chris, who's about to take us through a full body workout. But I do know, Chris, that a lot of people are intimidated by the CrossFit workouts, but that doesn't have to be the case, okay? As long as you commit and you apply yourself, you can reap the maximum benefits. Chris, please take us through today's workout format.
So this morning we're going to start with 3 types of leg exercise for everyone. You can use the same format for it, which is 20 seconds of work with 10 seconds of rest for 8 rounds. We're going to start with a standard squat, and then I'm going to show you something a little bit more advanced. Okay, feet hip width apart, chest up. I want you to push your hips back and down and just go as low as your mobility will allow, and back up to a neutral standing position.
The posture is always a struggle for many people. Sometimes when you squat, the knees go over the toes.
Correct. What you kind of want to do is wherever your toes are pointing, that's where you want your knees to go. It just stops the knees from caving in like that.
Yes.
And creates a more stable position at the bottom. If you want to take it up a notch, you can do a jumping squat. So
Okay.
you're going to squat down to the same depth again, but this time you're just going to jump up like that. And as you land, going straight back down into that squat.
I
So
feel
that-
like I'm gonna stick to the simple one for now, and then
Perfect.
the more we do it, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna advance, right? Let's go. 1. I feel like
Yeah,
I
you should
am
be
being
feeling
left
it in your
behind.
quads. Yeah, that's
100%. Now I need to know, when you get to this part, Chris, what do you do with the rest of your body?
Good question. Your hands you can sort of keep at your side. As you squat down, bring them up to the front here. And just make sure you're standing all the way up to a neutral standing position at the top of the position.
Cool.
Let's move on to the next one, lunges.
Yeah.
You're going to start with your feet again, hip width apart, hands on hips. And you're just going to step back about 1 meter. Keep that core nice and tight. The back knee lightly touches the ground. And then step up, bring your feet together, and then the other side. Keep alternating for the 20 seconds. There we go, nice. Keep a nice upright chest as well.
Posture is
Great stuff,
important.
Christy, yeah. Let's rest quickly. Okay, so the next one, the more advanced one, is a jumping lunge. So you'll step back into that lunge position, but from here, you're just gonna jump and switch your feet around straight into that next lunge like that.
I'm actually going to try this one, Chris.
Give it a bash, let's go. Okay, and
One.
switch the feet, nice, well done. There you go.
It's the balance for me.
Yeah. And you definitely should feel a bit more of a burn, and it also gets the heart rate going a bit more as well.
I can feel like I'm getting into it right now. I'm ready for the next one.
The next one is just a standard calf raise, just to work your calf muscles. On the spot, you can have your hands on your hips, and you're just gonna come up onto your tiptoes and back down to the floor.
I can feel that.
Good. Another place you can do this is on your staircase, which allows your heel to dip below ground level, just to get a bit more range of motion. And if you want to take it up a notch, feel free to grab some weights, have them at your side, or if you don't have weights at home, grab some odd object, hold it on your kid or your pet or something like that to help out.
Now to the core.
So you start with your soles of your feet together, bring your heels as close to your body as you can. You're gonna roll back down onto your back, touch the floor behind your head, throw your hands forward, come up and touch your toes. Make sure your shoulders are above your hips at the top of the movement.
But how can I prevent my feet from lifting when I'm trying to project forward?
I would just be conscious about keeping them tucked in as close to your body as you can.
Got it. Whew, let's go.
Let's do it. Really throw your arms forward just to help get momentum and get your body up there. There we go, nice.
Am I gonna get a six-pack from this exercise?
This and a combination of clean eating and you will be there.
All good.
Can I show you an easier version?
Yes, please. I feel like that one is for me.
So, feet flat on the floor, knees bent, again, back on the floor, and from here, you're just gonna crunch up by taking the upper part of your back off the floor. So we're not having to go all the way up, we're just going sort of a quarter of the way up.
As much as it's much more manageable, I am definitely feeling it in my core.
Okay, 3 more, 2 more, 1 more, and to the ground.
I felt that right here in the center.
Okay, so let's work the lower abs now. We're gonna do leg raises, hands underneath the bum, extending both legs out together. And then from here, you're gonna raise your feet up to above your hips and then back down to the floor, but I don't want you to touch the floor. I want your feet hovering above the ground at the bottom. And back up. There we go, okay, 3 more. 2 more. Last one. 1. And up
That
to
was just a bonus one.
yeah, so you should have an 8-pack by now.
Absolutely, Chris. I am putting in the work this morning at Greenside CrossFit at Pirate Sports Club out here in Johannesburg. Chris has been taking me through the paces. We started out with a leg workout. Now we've just engaged the core. And I hope that you at home have learned a thing or two just like me. But this is us out here at Greenside CrossFit at Pirate Sports Club. From myself, Ukutla Adams, and CrossFit trainer Chris. Till next time.
Oh, you don't understand. Pirates Rugby Club is honestly one of the best rugby clubs in South Africa. Look, and Oaks are going to come for me now when I say this, okay? But Greenside was my old stomping ground.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I went to high school at Greenside High, which is such a beautiful school, man. So well done for keeping the flame burning. I'm so happy that we've got Kutle doing this, first of all, so that we're not doing it.
But honestly, she's looking so good. I can clearly see why, and it looked intense. But don't worry, Mzansi, because we want to know from you firstly, did you join in on this? Did you enjoy that session? And also, Kukle is going to be coming through with so many more sessions when it comes to fitness, all the way from Johannesburg. So we got you plugged, and we got you looking snatched for this winter. You got it.
Only you can make my day. It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back, you beauties. Thank you so much for keeping it locked. Yes, more culinary inspiration coming your way in just a moment. But right now, let's just inspire you with some love.
Yeah, let's spread the love and care to all around us. Now, Panado are giving you the chance to share some love with those closest to your heart by nominating them for a dose of care to the value of 2,000 Rand. Now, I don't know if you want to do the honors, should I? But it's time to announce the next winner. Put your hands together, ladies and gentlemen, for Mokhakane Great Team! Yes! We all day. We your hype men.
So Mokhakane's daughter, Cleopatra, actually wrote in and commented by saying this: "My mom deserves it because she is our support system with a caring spirit and motivation towards her children. Hashtag a dose of care. Hashtag Panado SA." And we've got both of them on the line right now.
Good morning.
Good morning, ladies. How are you?
Good morning. We're good. How are you?
So good, and even better now that we get to chat to you live and talk about the incredible mom that you have and why she is so deserving. Can you let us know, please? I know the list can go on forever, but try to summarize it if you can.
My mom is such an amazing person, honestly. Like, she's a single mom. She's the one who raised us because we lost our dad back in 2012. I was still in high school. And she just, you know, she just hustled her way and made sure that we go to school. And today I'm a graduate and working because of her. That's how amazing she is.
Nice.
She's such a super mom.
A super mom, and it sounds like she's creating a super mom as well. There's a reason why daughters are amazing, and that's because moms are amazing. Mokhakane, I'm going to turn to you now. First of all, congratulations. 2,000 Rand is headed your way.
Thank you.
I've got to ask,
you.
and a very deserving winner of that as well. I've got to ask you, Mokhakane, what does a dose of care mean to you?
Okay, I think a dose of care means that my children are my first priority. I can do whatever it takes to make my children happy and loved. I'm a single mom, so seeing my children healthy and safe makes me strong each and every day. Thank you.
The most powerful words.
That's sweet, yes.
I love it. And you can cry if you want to, because that's how much we love our daughters and how much we love our moms. I love the fact that you have been given this opportunity to show how much you really do care about each other. What are you going to spend the money on?
Okay, I will spend the money to buy some groceries and buy some stuff for school, like stationery.
Oh, man.
Nice. Absolutely deserve. Well, Mokhakane, well, to both of you, I can't thank you enough for allowing us to see love in action, to see the beauty of the relationship that you have, and to see what a powerful mom can do for a daughter too. We are here for it, and I hope this continues. You guys are definitely inspiring us, and love truly does make the world go around too. So enter the Panado A Dose of Care competition now and stand a chance to nominate our next winner. And here's how you can do it.
No child is going to pass up chocolate Easter eggs, but how do you do something just as sweet for grown-ups this Easter? By giving them a daily chance to win 2,000 Rand, courtesy of Panado. If you know somebody who could do with that, nominate them for a 2,000 Rand dose of care on the Expresso social media pages using hashtag PanadoSA and hashtag A Dose of Care. Competition runs from the 3rd of April to the 14th of April, and T's and C's apply.
Oh, yes, it's time to make this your best Eid ever. Yes, I'm talking about a celebration that is coming to an end. We're talking about Ramadan, and that's a moment that you get to celebrate with family and friends over a show-stopping feast using the freshest ingredients from Woolworths. Yeah, we got you covered, and Chef Clem is here to present the ultimate Eid feast and perfect the way we make it memorable. Brother, wow, it smells good here. What's going on? Is that you?
Me. It's eau de combeis.
Eau de combeis, just lathered in it, basting in it. I love it.
Eid. I love Eid. I love any time people get around the table to celebrate an amazing occasion. Eid and the food, the smells.
Especially, I mean, look, we've been fasting for so long. This is a meal that needs to be worthy of filling the belly after such an enduring time. So what you got for us,
You need the
man?
roasts with the most, right?
Okay.
That's absolutely what you need. So Woolies have got you covered with everything halal, from your lamb to your chicken to your beef and the prawns. Ooh. It has to feature on your table.
I got options.
You've got all the options. So let's talk about the meat. Antibiotic-free, growth stimulant-free, because we start from there. The best quality, hands down.
Thank you.
The corned beef. I'm obsessed with corned beef this year.
Okay.
Because it's amazing. You know, okay. Truth, families back in the day, like when that auntie used to cook the corned beef, it used to be like dry.
That's what I didn't want to say it online, but like, I don't have the best experience with corned beef, to be honest, man.
It's changed now. We're cooking it differently. We're cooking it better. We're not cooking it to the point where it's like just dry. It is so juicy, so tender. It goes beautifully in like little homemade beef tacos.
Is this the corned beef here?
It's a corned beef in the front there.
Jesus,
beautiful.
It's like shredded even.
Just
okay.
shredded.
I haven't seen that before. Nice.
If you love pulled beef, it's the new pulled beef.
Oh, wow.
Easy to make. It's literally, everything's been done to it. It's been cured, it's been brined. All you got to do is pop it in that water, slowly cook it, and that's it.
Now
it's amazing. We're switching up the way.
Maybe I should give corned beef another chance then.
You need to give corned beef another chance. So if you're looking for more inspiration, 100% go and check out Daily Difference. We got you covered this Eid with all the amazing Eid deals. Simply in a beautiful little booklet. We even give you styling cues. And you can see how beautifully we plated it all up.
Yeah.
Get it done. It's amazing, it's beautiful. Now, prawns have to feature on your Eid table.
Yes, please.
I've come through with the really easy recipe. And it's packed full of flavor. So Woolies have this new fresh paste. This is the masala paste.
I was going to say, you have to have some form of masala or something like that in this, because otherwise it's not authentic prawns.
Right, it's not. So let me see if I can find you a little, I want you to taste this. Not a lot, because this masala paste
spoon for me.
packs a little punch.
Okay. So don't take a big
But I
piece.
want you to taste how intense and flavor this is. It literally delivers, it ticks all those boxes. It's got that heat, it's got that fragrance, it's got the aromatic notes.
And you know what this reminds me of?
Tell
you know
me.
when like moms makes a stew or like a tomato breedy, and it just like packs up with flavor over time, and then like the more it sits in the pot, the more intense that flavor gets. Add some spice to that, and I'm getting so much of that feeling right now. Just like that like good, loving, good, low, slow roasted type of a pot feel. Man, this is good.
That's right, exactly like you said. It's concentrated, it's deep, it's
too,
got soul. It is so good. So I got some oil and I got some butter in there. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hit it with some of that masala paste. Little goes a long way. Like, I used this just yesterday. It was amazing. I made a chickpea cauliflower curry. It was amazing. So I love this paste. Okay, get it in there.
I don't think they made those like sort of like containers big enough. People are gonna use this,
right?
Like you cannot imagine. This is awesome.
It is so good, and it's amazing hack. If you're not confident enough to like make your own curry, but you want to like get involved with it and like, at least put it all together. This is how you start. And what happens is you get familiar with the flavors, what it's supposed to taste like. From there, you make it your own.
And you try to replicate that.
Absolutely love this. So,
love that.
That paste goes in a little bit of butter, a little bit of oil, and you can smell it immediately. Favorite. Okay, 2023, we are not peeling garlic. We're not chopping garlic. We're going to Woolies, we're going to buy it in little pots.
We've risen above.
We are just, we're letting Woolies do it for us. Hit it with a little bit. I mean, the garlic is in there, the chili is in there, the ginger is in there, but we bring extra. It's Eid. So we're going to go in with extra garlic,
bring
extra
on
ginger.
the flavor.
These are going to be
complaining.
hot. I like my prawns, like, because prawns, you're interactive, you're like peeling off the shell.
Yeah, it's an experience.
Stuck in the head, you know what I mean? So make it really hot and like really get your sinuses involved as well. So
Open up the lungs.
There we go. I find that green chili and seafood, best friends.
Yeah, it brings a freshness. It does bring the tang and the bite, but it's got a freshness to it that's, I think, a little bit different to the warmer, spicy notes that you kind of normally feel. This is definitely adding a sort of like fresh vibe.
100%. So we use the red chili quite often, but I'm saying give green chili its a little time in the spot.
Give corned beef a chance, and you've got to give green chili a chance.
Yes.
You've got to put it up there, people.
So we're looking good, we're smelling good. We've got a black pan right now, but what I can see, I hope the camera can see it, the oil that we've had in here, the butter that we had in here has kind of taken on the color of that paste.
Oh, yeah.
We want that to happen. That's when we know we're ready for the next step. The next step is the prawns. Raul, can you pop that open for me?
Oh, cool. It's even got like a little Ziploc bag. If I don't want to use all of them, I can keep it for later. Come on.
There we go. You can add it to the pan.
I'll be throwing it all in here.
Yes. So what's really cool is this dish comes together in a matter of like not even minutes. I mean, I've been talking to you the whole time and like not even paying attention. It's coming together.
Yeah.
So you can do this literally. I would do this as your guests enter. And the things already smell good because
so you look legit, like,
you know,
as they come in, they're like, see you in action. Oh, I like
that is the way. So you've got like things happening in the kitchen already that smell really good.
Yes.
Then they get used to those smells, but then you wham, and then they're like, what's
coming at
that? What's that? Okay, a little bit of limes. You can totally use lemon if you want. Get the zest in. There's so much flavor in the zest. All those oils in there.
Yes.
Get that in there, and it really, really makes a huge difference when you include the zest and the juice. Then what I've done is I've given it a little roll. So limes are they tight inside, right?
Like a toiga.
What you want to do to break it up and get the most juice out of them, all you got to do is you just got to...
What? I've seen this as like this is like a boiled egg trick.
Right? To get the shell off.
Yeah, get the shell off.
Then you get ready D and then you level up. Then you get 2 at the same time. And then, can you give me like a ready D scratching?
Expresso.
You know? Okay, so then slice it up. And again, you want to do this in front of your guests because you want to make it like as theatrical and beautiful as possible. Squeeze, squeeze. And you're going to see those prawns are really looking so good.
Yeah, and look how they're taking on the color and I would imagine the flavor of that sauce that you've created. Ooh,
this is the one. These prawns are shelled, but by all means, go for the ones that have the shell in it, just to like make the experience even more like interactive. You can see these are cooked, they are done. I'm gonna add the lime to it already, just to let it permeate, get more of those floral notes coming through.
And make it look authentic too, yeah.
You know? Okay, so we're cooking in cast iron. So once I see like 80% of it is cooked, I can turn the heat off. Don't overcook your prawns, because they're gonna get like super shrivelly. You don't want that.
Oh, no.
Keep it juicy, keep it plump.
Right.
That's it. Salt, a little bit of salt. We don't need that curry spice. There's a little bit of it. There we go. Mint and coriander. Gooi it.
How much of this is going in? All of it?
All of it.
Whoa, all right.
We saw Ilham use mint earlier, and we're going to use mint again now. Rahel de Mornay.
Voila, Chef Clem, it looks absolutely inviting. This is worthy of a celebration. And for you, Mzansi, you can celebrate moments that matter with friends and family. Shop everything you need, as you've seen how easy it is, right here for your Eid Feast at Woolworths, in-store, online, and of course, on Woolies Dash.
Take it.
I'm going to give Quanti a chance.
Take it.
Oh, yes, okay.
Take it.
Yes,
Take it.
let's celebrate. Woo!
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back. Thank you so much for keeping it locked. We've still got another hour and a half of Feel Good to squeeze in, and we're going to do our absolute best. And we are so excited and, yeah, really proud to have an extremely gifted young star by the name of Giselle Niemand back in studio. She's a singer, she's an actor, she's a model, she's a dancer. She probably can cook as well. Probably nothing she can't do. And after her first ever performance back in 2018 at the International Convention, she fell in love with the arts, thankfully, and I think really enjoyed being that source of amusement and entertainment. She has grabbed it with both hands, and this is where she sits. She has dedicated so much time to improving so rapidly that she's obviously blessed us with an international single along the way, Love Us Do, but so much more has been happening in your life since the last time we saw you. So welcome back down to earth.
Thank you so much.
For 5 minutes, because it feels like you've been up there. New York, billboards, Fashion Week. This is crazy. Are you feeling like this is moving at this crazy pace, or is it still calm? Because you always seem to have this calm vibe about you at the eye of the storm. Catch us up here. How have you been?
I have been absolutely amazing. Life has just generally been so amazing. I've gotten so many opportunities with my singing, modeling, and acting. It's been great.
What has been the key here? Because not everyone is able to unlock this particular lock. Something has clicked within you. Was it a shift in you? Was it a shift in the world? Did the world just need to catch up to Giselle? What has changed? How do you think this is all coming about?
I definitely think it is from the South African Championships that I've entered and Dr. Ellen Rue, because she really got me where I am today.
She's been pushing, man.
She really got me to my producer, Manny Maharis, and she's really been helping me so much.
Do you feel the pressure now that this is all actually happening? And this dream that was just a dream, was just you literally sitting in front of your mirror singing, is now you sitting in front of fans, sitting in front of some of the best producers in the world, alone in a booth, and you've got to deliver. How are you dealing with that side of this craziness?
I must say the pressure is on, but I really just try and calm myself down even when I get like but yeah, I really just try and calm myself down, know what's going on, be kind, and just be happy and calm.
And feed off it, clearly, because there's something there that's fueling you, and you can't get enough of it. It's like as soon as singing slows down, when I say slows down to like 3,000 kilometers an hour, then you move on to something else, and you move on to something else. And the modeling obviously has always been a passion.
Yes.
Being able to do that in the epicenter of the fashion world, to feel like that, to wear those garments, what was that experience like?
That was absolutely amazing. To go to New York and do New York Fashion Week, it was absolutely amazing. And I got to meet so many cool models, and I obviously walked with Mistress Uni, and she was so nice. I loved her outfits so incredibly much, and it was such an amazing experience to actually be in a fashion show and feel the fashion vibe of all the models.
And literally, that's the pinnacle of the world of global fashion. Make no mistake, as much as it would feel like you're winning a lot of these opportunities, you're not, you're earning them. You are clearly putting in the work. We can see that in your craft. So I cannot wait for people to hear you sing, to get a taste of your music. And yes, you will be singing and performing just for you. Giselle, congratulations on everything that's happening. But stay humble, girl. It's only the beginning. Giselle Niemand is here to perform just for you this morning. Don't move a muscle. Entering into the second hour of the show, let's get into those news headlines.
Incredible stuff indeed. She deserves her own headline, but we need to go back to our official duties, and it's just gone on the hour. Now it's time for national headlines first, and reporting from the Ntabankulu local municipality. Now this in the Wild Coast region of the Eastern Cape, which is continuing its drive to position itself as one of the key players in the envisioned cannabis industry in South Africa. Now it has sought some 80 million rand to build an agricultural college that will train indigenous cannabis farmers. Now, the government plans to establish a cannabis industry, and this has energized cannabis growers in the area to jump at the opportunity. Now, many young people also see the industry as a way to escape poverty. Well, sticking to national headlines, the two men who appeared in the Bloemfontein Magistrates Court yesterday on charges of allegedly helping Thabo Bester escape prison, and we're referring to Dr. Nandipa Magudumana's father, Zolile Cornelius Sekeleni, and former G4S prison warder, Zenoho Matsuora. Now, they will remain in custody until their next appearance, and Magudumana's 65-year-old father was arrested on Good Friday at his home in Port Edward, KwaZulu-Natal. And former G4S employee Zenoho Matsuara, 38 years old, was arrested at his residence in Bloemfontein on Saturday. Now, the matter against the pair was deferred to Monday for bail proceedings. Well, from our national news headlines, let's head over to international news. Now, the UK is set to be one of the worst performing major economies in the world this year. Now, this being said by the International Monetary Fund, otherwise known as the IMF. Now, it says the UK economy's performance in 2023 will be the worst among the 20 largest economies, known as the G20, which includes sanctions hit by Russia. Now, the IMF predicts the UK economy will shrink this year, although this is a small upgrade from its last forecast. Now, it now expects the UK economy to shrink by 0.3% in 2023 and then grow by 1% next year. Well, carrying on with international news headlines, Algeria's state energy conglomerate Sonatrach has announced that it has made 6 oil and gas discoveries in the first quarter of this year. Now, they have yielded more than 1.5 million cubic meters of gas, as well as smaller amounts of oil. Now, it has announced it will produce 200 million tons of oil equivalent this year, which is an amount not achieved since 2010. Now, territorially, Algeria is OPEC's largest member country and the biggest country in Africa. Now, the oil and gas sector is the backbone of its economy. Now, for some enlightening news from India, our fellow BRICS member country, comes an item of truly uplifting news concerning tigers. Now, Prime Minister Narendra Modi released a report at an event to mark 50 years of the country's Project Tiger campaign, in which it stated that India now has 3,167 of these magnificent animals. Now, that's more than 70% of the world's tiger population. Now, Project Tiger was launched in 1973 by then Prime Minister Indira Gandhi after the animals' numbers had become worryingly low. Now, bounty and sports hunting had been rampant in the past, and tiger numbers had dwindled precipitously. But fortunately, since then, a number of government initiatives, including a ban on hunting, were put in place to conserve the tiger, now India's national animal. And since 2006, there's been a healthy uptick in tiger numbers. And Prime Minister Modi proudly announced that India now has 3,167 tigers. Mr. Prime Minister, we at Expresso applaud you and are absolutely elated to share in your joy about this news. And may their numbers continue to grow. Yes, and with that, I leave you with the rest of the headlines. Here's the latest when it comes to sport. Check it out.
Thank you so much. Well, let's start with football and Manchester City. Oh, man, they are finding form at just the right time. They took a giant stride towards the Champions League semi-finals with an outstanding performance to overpower Bayern Munich 3-0. So Rodri opened the scoring with a screamer from outside the box. Then Bernardo Silva added the second. And just 6 minutes later, who else but Erling Haaland got onto the score sheet for the 45th time this season. Yes, it is a record, and I think he's going to set a record that will never be achieved again. Then elsewhere, Romelu Lukaku, who's known a few records in his time, he scored a brace, including an 82nd minute penalty that proved vital as Inter Milan saw off Benfica 2-0 to get the early lead in their quarter exchange. Now we turn to cricket, and it's all heating up in the IPL. Skipper Rohit Sharma smashed 65 as Mumbai Indians, they edged out the Delhi Capitals by 6 wickets in a last ball IPL thriller yesterday to register their first win of the season. So Mumbai's chase of 173 moved to that final delivery when impact player Tim David and Cameron Green got the winning runs to hand hosts Delhi their 4th straight loss in as many matches. Then earlier, David Warner, he led by example with a 51 as his side were bowled out with more than an over to spare. Jason Behrendorff and Piyush Chalwa both taking 3 wickets each with ball in hand. Then we turn to tennis. Novak Djokovic has made a winning return to competition in the Monte Carlo Masters. That was after beating Russian qualifier Ivan Gakov 7-6 and 6-2. So Djokovic is back on court after failing to get a waiver to enter the United States for last month's Indian Wells tournament or the Miami Open. That, of course, due to his anti-COVID vaccination stance. And looking at some of the other big names marching on, Stefanos Tsitsipas advanced to the 3rd round. That was after Frenchman Benjamin Bonzi retired with a left wrist issue after just 22 minutes. And at that stage, trading the Greek 4-1 in the first set. Then Alex Zverev, he made a hesitant start to his clay court season before seeing off Kazakh Alexander Bublik 3-6, 6-2 and 6-4 in that first round. Then we turn to MotoGP, and sadly, one notable omission from this weekend's race. Marc Marquez is going to miss MotoGP's Grand Prix of the Americas in Austin this weekend as he sadly continues to recover from that hand injury. So the Spaniard underwent surgery to his right hand after a collision in the season opening race in Portugal last month. And Repsol Honda have said in a statement that a decision has been made to let the hand heal fully and avoid any unnecessary risks, which is sad for the rider and the fans. The 30-year-old has a stellar record at the Circuit of the Americas, the best, in fact, winning 6 years on the trot between 2013 and 2018. He will be missed. Well, let's hope that the competition out on our roads is a little less intense as we get you off to work. Raul's got the latest on the traffic front.
Thank Thanks so much, Shi. Yes, many of us heading on the roads this morning, we've got you covered. Now, if you are in the Pretoria area, there's a stationary truck on the N1 southbound. Now, this after Proefplaas interchange. Now, the left lane is obstructed, so please approach this area with caution. Carrying on with our road warnings, if you're in the Randburg area in Gauteng, specifically, there is a stationary vehicle on the N1 southbound before Beyers Nordier. Now, the left lane is affected, so please drive carefully when passing this area. If you are driving in the area of Mpumalanga, there is a heavy mist on the N12 and this coming out of Witbank. Now, traffic is at a standstill just before Ogi's off-ramp. So please drive carefully, and when approaching the mist, heed thy warning and do approach with caution. And anyone else heading on the roads, buckle up, stay safe, and plan accordingly. But for now, though, it's time to head from the road to the sky and see what's happening the latest when it comes to weather. Now, reporting on weather news this morning, this week marks the first anniversary of the devastating floods that hit KwaZulu-Natal and the communities that were the most affected, which still have vivid memories. Now, over 400 people lost their lives when torrential rains and mudslides battered the province, leaving communities without essential services such as water and sanitation, as well as electricity. Now, thousands of homes and businesses were also affected. And meanwhile, the mayor of the eThekwini region, Moxile Kuanda, has said the city will have to approach the national government for assistance as the cost of the repairs to infrastructure after the flood damage had been miscalculated. Now, Kuanda says insufficient funds have led to a delay in certain projects for which they have under-budgeted. Now, this while there's also been over-budgeting for other projects. However, he says they have to obtain permission from the national government to move funds between the projects. Now, Kuanda mentioned that the damage to roads alone was estimated at 5.6 billion rand. Well, as always, our condolences go out to all the family members that were affected by this, but it's time to move from our weather news to sunrise views and put a smile back in that face of yours. Now, Andrew in Belito comes up first for this 7 o'clock edition. He stepped outside feeling excited for this Wednesday, and you can clearly see why. What a beautiful shot he was able to capture and gratefully share with us too. Fatah Khan comes through next from Richards Bay, watching the sunrise, views reflecting over the water. I mean, this is just a calming way to start the day. I love it. Salisi in Durban comes through next, enjoying the cool breeze outside before heading to the shops. And what a beautiful sight as you walk through that beautiful, beautiful little section wherever you are. Now, Amanda Holman is coming through next, and this one is from Cork Bay, showcasing a breathtaking video, sharing her views of the boats and wavy water. And come on, what a beautiful view this is. Something to get you feeling good. And that's what I'm here for. Thank you so much, Amanda. This is definitely giving us and sending us the feels that we need to get through the day. And what a beautiful, calming shot indeed. Again, Mzansi, keep sending those incredible pictures and videos, as you've clearly seen, to 063-408-8863, because we'd love to see how you start your day. And hey, speaking of temperatures, speaking of across the country, let's take a look at those temperatures right now, starting off in Polokwane. The day starts at a low of 10 up to a high of 25 degrees. Mobela sees the day starting at 14 up to 27 with rain expected in your side of the world. Pretoria 12 up to 25 degrees. And Johannesburg starting the day at 12 up to a high of 22 degrees Celsius. Carrying on now to Mahikeng, where the day starts at a low of 11 up to 26 degrees. Klerksdorp, no rain expected, 10 up to 27. Much the same for Kimberley. From 9, you move all the way up to 28 degrees. Bloemfontein brings a chillier start of 4, but moderately moves up to 25 degrees Celsius for the day. But we carry on with the temperatures moving around the coast to Richards Bay. Now, your day starts at a low of 19 up to 27 degrees. Pietermaritzburg, 12 up to 25. Durban sees the day starting at 18 up to a max of 25 with a little bit of rainfall expected, not too much though. And Mthatha, much the same, 10 up to a high of 24 degrees Celsius. Carrying around the coast now, moving over to East London, where the day starts at a low of 16 up to 22 degrees. Cradock sees the day starting at 11 up to 26. GQ Berga sees the day starting at 13 up to 20 degrees. And George, a little bit of rainfall expected, maybe just a drizzle. 11 is your low up to a high of 19 degrees Celsius. Carrying on around the coast now, finally to Mother City, Cape Town. 12 is your low up to a high of 18 degrees. moderate amount of rainfall expected, only at 7%. Worcester, similar conditions. Chillier start though, from 6 up to 23 degrees. Sutherland, 8 up to 21. And Uppington taking the cake from 10 degrees up to a nice, warm, scorching 31 degrees Celsius. Thank you again, Mzansi. I absolutely loved your pictures. But hey, here's something you might love even more. I'm sure of it.
The fact that we don't get to start our day walking on a beach, taking in all of that beautiful scenery. So I'm glad you do, but we do have a very, very special privilege on that show, and that's a private performance every single day. And it means so much more when it's someone that we have been present for the beginning of their amazing career, and now we're seeing where that career is going. So it's only fair that we let her bring you an original track right now that's going to get you on your feet. It's Giselle Niemand with Lovers Do. Enjoy.
I can tell on her it's touch. You get the team kinda head rush. I get nervous and it's just us. I can see it in your eyes when you look into mine. Wanna know what it might be like. Yeah, 'cause I can't get close enough to your body. And I wanna feel your touch. Put it on me. What you gonna do if I say I wanted to? Wanna do what friends don't do, what lovers do. Hey you, what you gonna do if you don't know, make that move? Think of me and you should do what lovers do. Give me more, it's not enough, 'cause every day got me guessing so much more than I thought it was. You got me so delirious. No, we don't take it seriously, but we just do what we do. No, I can't get close enough to your body. I don't wanna feel your touch. Put it on me. Hey, you, what you gonna do if I say I wanted to? Wanna do what friends don't do, what lovers do. Hey, you, what you gonna do if you don't know, make that move? Think of me and you should do what lovers do.
Yay! Just savor the second, just for a little bit longer. That is available to stream on Spotify right now. Do it right now. Support vocals from the locals, especially when it's a young person who is doing amazing things in their career. She's not going anywhere. Giselle's got 2 more performances coming your way. Don't move a muscle. That was beautiful.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back, South Africa, to the Culinary Hotline Bling. That was amazing. So in the first part, we saw an amazing baked rice dish and a mini quiches. We're now going to be doing a leg of lamb, which is essential. Don't forget, we want to get all your voice notes at magic number 063 408-8863. Send us your voice notes. We want to find out what you're doing on Eid. If you have any questions for us, what are you making? Can you send some our way, please? You know, our address is, we'll find it. We'll let you know. Okay, leg of lamb, another South African staple. When it comes to celebration, have to add the leg of lamb.
It's the showstopper.
It's the showstopper.
Yeah.
And it has to be like a beautiful, big leg of lamb on the bone with that in shank piece. That's the way. Yes.
Yeah, because it's the piece de resistance. You want everyone to be like, you know,
you did it.
Take their
You've made
breath away.
it. Yes.
Yeah.
So absolutely amazing. I'm seeing a lot of spices, a lot of aromatic flavors. What do we do to begin this recipe?
Okay.
I see gloves. That's why I got distracted.
So you are going to open that lamb for me.
Sure thing.
And make the marinade. So maybe I'll pour everything into the bowl for you. So we have some, let's start with the garlic, because you always need some garlic.
I mean, garlic and lamb, yes.
Yeah.
And I feel like you don't have quantities for garlic when you're cooking lamb. You just feel it with your soul.
Yeah, like you measure it with your heart.
Because the thing is, you're going to cook your lamb for quite a long time. So if you add 60 cloves of garlic, it's going to be fine. Because it's going to mellow out, right?
Yeah, and it's going to get really nice and sweet. So we're going in with some, after that, some cumin, then some turmeric.
Before I became a chef, I actually wanted to become a doctor. True story. Do you see how beautifully, like, I opened that up?
I'm really glad you became a chef, Clement.
I could be a good doctor. Dr. Pedro. And now, would you trust me as your doctor? The truth is coming out. Okay, cool. Also glad I'm a chef. All right, lamb looking beautiful.
So some pepper, some salt. Then we've got some lemon juice for a little bit of acid, some honey to sweeten. And then we're going in with our rosemary and our saffron.
Very fancy because it's Eid. We can spend all our
You
money
know,
on saffron.
Yes, every time it's Eid, you got to get the saffron in there. And actually making the saffron liquid just draws out that flavor. So you know what to do with this, right?
Yeah, so what you do at home, South Africa, is you're gonna get your saffron, get a little bit of warm water, not hot, warm, and then you're gonna steep your saffron, almost like you would tea. Once it takes on that color, you're good to go. But we've got a beautiful message from Aisha Lawrence. Good morning, Aisha. She says, good morning, Expresso morning show. An absolute must in my home every Eid is me taking the butter chicken recipe and substituting the chicken with crayfish tails. Aisha Lawrence, yes. What else does she do? She adds prawns, mussels, and she says it with naan or roti, and then Eid is not Eid without leg of lamb. Aisha, we're with you. We're absolutely with you. We feel you. Also, I feel like seafood and lamb go together so well. So many recipes you'll find like you marinate lamb in anchovies or anchovy paste. It's just a combination of the extra umami, on the umami, the surf and turf vibes that come together so beautifully. So yes, the combination of spicy seafood along with that lamb is a must. So you're giving this lamb the treatment?
Yes, so I'm just piercing some holes in here so the marinade really gets into that meat. And then, once you've got your other glove on, you're going to rub all of that marinade, just really nicely massage it into that lamb.
Another thing is you're saying massage and marinade. So another recipe or another element you could do way ahead of time?
Yes,
and
so you can make this the night before, you know, after your last iftar, basically you can get your I mean, you saw how quick this was, and there's not that many ingredients, but you're going to get so much of flavor out of this. And you can just put it in the night before, let it marinate for a little bit. If you don't have time, you can do it in the morning as well. So, you know, if you're serving this for lunch or for supper, it'll be ready. And then again, after that, it just goes into the oven.
I'm thinking leftovers. What do you do with the leftovers?
Oh, do you know my favorite? It would be like a lamb sandwich with like some fresh sourdough or like ciabatta bread.
Oh my goodness.
Okay.
Okay, getting it in, there's a tense muscle over here. It's called reasons South Africa. You want to really get into the meat. I'm just having too much fun now. Okay. And the leftover marinade just gets poured over, right?
Yeah, so I've got a little bit of sliced onion that I've lined my baking dish with. And you're going to put that on top of the onion, so it's just going to rest really nicely.
Okay, I wouldn't be a good doctor because somehow liquid got inside my glove. How? Okay, cool. So yeah.
So once that's done, you're going to take your chicken stock and then just pour that over the onion. So you don't actually want to get it onto your lamb. You just want to pour it all over the onion. And then you're going to cover this with foil and put it in the oven for about an hour. And then depending on how you want your lamb to be done, if you want it to still be pink, it'll be an hour and a half. If you want it to be well done, about 2 hours. And then just in that last 60 minutes or 30 minutes of cooking time, you can just remove the foil so we get some nice color. And then the stock and the onion will form like a really nice gravy.
Thinking like potential load shedding, we don't know what's gonna happen. If you have an oven-proof dish, or say like a metal roasting dish, could you do this on a kettle braai?
Oh, totally. Yeah, you could totally do that on a braai.
So I think it's a great solution then for like an Eid dish, considering we might have load shedding.
Load shedding,
And I
yeah.
feel like, again, celebrations and the braai, they just go really well together.
They do. And plus, you know, it's South Africa, we need to always have that plan B.
We need a plan B, absolutely. Okay, let's talk sides.
Yes.
What would you serve with this as an amazing side? Your rice, first of all, yes.
So baked rice, definitely. If you want some more veggies, I would even do like maybe some roasted veggies, especially green veggies. But keeping with that Persian theme that we had going on, and plus knowing that we love rice so much, maybe even some couscous would be nice.
Yes.
You know, really nice couscous that you could make very similar to the rice. And again, so easy. You could just soak the couscous with some nice stock and then add some nice fresh veggies, even those pomegranate seeds that we had on top of the rice. Same sort of flavors, you know. Yeah, I think definitely go with the couscous as well. Lamb and couscous, just friends.
Yes. So we spoke about the fact that we can marinate this in advance.
Yeah.
Could we, let's just say there's a lot happening in the kitchen and eat, which is the case.
Yeah.
Could we like pre-roast this the day before and then on the day, give it that final crust?
I think what you would be able to do is maybe do that 1 hour of cooking with the foil covered and then let that cool if that's in your fridge. And then that last minute of finishing off would be that 30 minutes or that 60 minutes where you take the foil off. And then maybe if you've got some like leftover marinade or you've got a little bit of like olive oil, just baste it so that it doesn't get dry.
And that beautiful crust on the outside, which you have
Yes.
to have. And then very important, resting the lamb.
Very important. If you don't rest your meat, you know what happens. It's just all of the juices are just going to run out. So when it comes out of the oven, let it rest for like 20 minutes before, 15 minutes before you
Yes.
actually serve it so that the juices stay inside.
Amazing, thank you so much. We've got one more segment, right?
Yeah.
I'm excited to see, is it something sweet?
I hope so.
I hope so too. South Africa, don't go anywhere. It's been the Culinary Hotline. Bling! Ting, ting, ting!
Only you can make my day. It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Oh, welcome back, you beauties. Thank you so much for keeping it locked. Time now to chew on the gristle. Yes. I know it's all about tasty delights on a Wednesday, but we've got to chew on this for just a little bit of time. We are talking about money and we are talking about debt today. And we're going to ask you some important questions and we're going to have a little chat now. And we want to know, to what lengths would you go in times of desperate need? And I'm sure a lot of people have experienced that over these last few years post-COVID. It's time to find out in another round of Would You Rather?
Right, so the scenario is like this. You are in desperate need of 5,000 Rand, and that's for an emergency expense, but credit and savings are not an option. Unfortunately, they are not an option for you.
Okay.
So what do? Would you ask family or a friend for the money, or would you try to sell some stuff from around the house to make up the 5 grand?
Probably a bit of both, man.
Yeah.
And done both.
The same thing. You should see my Facebook Marketplace and Gumtree account.
100%.
I've got ads everywhere, man. I've got like a company going on there. So if I can't make the sale, I'm definitely going to ask friends and family. I think they've definitely helped me in many a time of need, and I can resonate with that too, G.
Yeah,
so both of us got a hybrid approach, let's say that. But we obviously asked you the question online and wanted to know what you would say. What would your option be? So let's find out from you, Mzansi. What would you do? Friends or sell everything in the house?
A lot of people are going into Marketplace right now to look for your stuff, dude. I guarantee it. So those are your options here. Option A, ask a family member or friend. Or option B, try to sell some stuff from around the house.
All right, so first up, we've got Prabashni Prai Pillay, who says, B, I believe that it's better to solve your own issues than rely on or ask for help from others. If that fails and I have no other option, then I will seek help from close family. Hashtag take your money seriously. Nice. I think that's kind of in line with what we were saying.
Yeah, no, I feel you there. Then more saying, I'll definitely do B and learn a skill of selling that I can use in the future.
Nice.
My wife is amazing at that hustle.
Oh, yeah?
You don't understand. So I think having two kind of approaches might actually help every household.
I like that. We got another one coming through from Natalie. She says, will most definitely be B. I would not want to put someone under pressure. God always makes a way out.
She's kind of got an option C there added. Just a little bit of faith thrown into the mix there as well. Karabo saying, I'd rather ask a friend because she's always there for me.
Nice.
And
I
friends
like that
and
we
family
have these
are
people
there.
around. I like that even Sedisi says B, because if I ask a family or friend, I would still be in debt. But if I sell something around the house, I now always replace or buy it back again when I'm stable financially and in my own comfort. Time without any rush. That's a smart approach, I think. I think a lot of people these days don't want to burden others, it seems. So they're always trying to take the independent route to try to sell something, which I do commend, but I think people would gladly help you. People want to be able to assist and want to be that sort of positive thing in your life, provided you're going to maybe pay the money back.
Yeah, man, and just be clear about it. Communicate. If you are going to borrow money, just talk and understand the conditions thereof. But everyone has needed a little bit of help, undoubtedly, in their life path, especially over the last few years. And there is nothing wrong with asking for help.
Yeah, so Mzansi, if you are in desperate need of emergency funds, you can take the hassle-free route and rely on a bank that can help. Now, if you take out a personal loan with Nedbank and open a Savvy account, not only will you be borrowing money responsibly, but you also get 200 Rand cash back every month for the duration of your loan. Yeah, sounds pretty good to me. So all you got to do is find out more. Go get the details and visit nedbank.co.za and have less problems with your money.
Join the bank that's best for your loan. Choose up to 200 Rand cashback monthly with a personal loan. Apply for a personal loan and a Savvy account today. Nedbank, see money differently.
All right, so this is a safe place, and it generally has to be when you're talking about money. And we understand, yes, that everyone's personal journey is exactly that, a personal, different journey. But I think we all have to go through certain gateways together, and we can share collectively in our learnings. So if you are right now drowning in debt, please listen up. If you're struggling to make ends meet, you are not alone. Today, we are going to explore those murky waters of personal finance and tackle the question that's on everyone's mind. What percentage of our income can we afford to put towards debt without sinking our financial ship?
Oh, a great question indeed. So we've brought in a great guest. Our guest today is Sylvia Walker, a financial planner, a freelance writer, and best-selling author who has surely helped countless people navigate the treacherous waters of debt and emerge financially stable. So, Mzansi, I know you're listening. Buckle up and get ready for a crash course in healthy debt management. Good morning, Sylvia. How are you doing?
Morning, I'm great, thanks.
I think you're coming here as like the messiah to save people from,
Yeah, I know, no
from the
pressure.
darkest abyss.
But this is the crazy world that we exist in, is everyone has been put under pressure in ways
Yeah.
that I think few of us could have imagined. Obviously, COVID just presented a different world, financially and otherwise. A lot of us are struggling with this notion of debt. I think a lot of people had to push into debt in a way that they never would have dreamt of. Maybe a good place to start is defining what good and bad debt is.
So the difference really is in what you're using the debt for. So let's start with the positive. The so-called good debt is debt. If you, let's say you've bought a house and you're paying off a house, so it's a tangible asset.
Feeding into an asset.
Yes, it's an asset. Even a car, to a certain extent, I always say a reliable car, but cars, there's a big caveat when it comes
For
to
sure,
cars.
yeah. But they do feed into your own personal economy
it's
as well.
your safety, it's all of those things. So that could also be good debt. And then, of course, education. If you are, you know, doing a course or studying, you're investing in yourself so you can actually earn more money. So those are kind of good, those fall under the realm of good debt. Bad debt is all the other stuff, store cards, credit cards, buying food on credit, buying clothes, all of those consumables. You know, you've long since had the pleasure and you've still got to pay for it.
Yeah.
That's the bad debt.
All right.
Which you end up, and sorry to interject there, but you end up paying about 100 times more than you have originally said. And I think people would be blown away if they knew how much more they were actually paying once that interest is worked into that equation.
Oh, especially a student loan. I mean, some of us are still paying that off. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah.
Now, there's so many different types of debt, and you mentioned you can use debt to your advantage, and it can also be a disadvantage. When it comes to something like discretionary spending, can that be justified when it comes to spending money on, let's say, like something like a luxury item, going on a vacation, a luxury purchase, perhaps? Can you justify that as like?
Can you justify that?
I mean, is debt a good thing to get into, or using it to?
It's like holiday now, pay later kind of thing.
Yeah. Because we need that holiday.
Just YOLO,
we
you know.
need it.
Yeah.
Maybe, I don't know, is there a reason? It's an investment in my personal health.
It could be.
So my mental health,
Yeah, exactly.
So you know what I would say? You can go on holiday on debt, as long as you've got the money to pay for it, to back it up.
Yes.
So if you don't have anything to back it up and you're just going to go and incur that 50 or 100,000 rand debt, not a good idea. But let's say you have money invested and you take a gamble, and it's really a gamble, but you say, okay, fine, I'm going to do the holiday on credit, and when I come back, I'm going to disinvest my money to pay for it.
Of course.
Because I think my investment will grow.
Yeah.
So that's a gamble, but that's the only circumstances under which you could
have
do
a
that.
plan.
There is a
actually to
sliver
get
of
that.
positive.
You've got money to back it up. You've actually got something to back it up. You're not just...
And a plan. And I know things change. This is a fluid system, so I understand that nothing is a certainty. But I suppose we want an equation to work off, if possible. When we're looking at debt repayments and then investing in the future and moving forward in that way, how do we approach the balance of money into debt and money into moving forward? Because that debt is preventing us from moving forward.
Yeah.
So what's the mindset there?
So, you know, the thing is, you've only got a certain amount of money to work with. We all have, unless you're a trust fund baby, of course, which very few of us are. So you have your salary, and you can only do with that salary, you can only do what you can do. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So if you're going to start incurring debt and end up with a much greater percentage of that salary that's got to service debt, there's less left to do the other things. So it's really about making choices in life. If your choices, or if your priority is just to live for today, you know, and as I said, tomorrow will take care of itself. Some people think like that. Then you're going to rack up all that debt now. But if you say, I need to actually plan for tomorrow, we all got different goals and dreams. You need to structure your budget accordingly. So it's really about choices. And, you know, I always say choices have consequences. So, you know, you make a decision, there are consequences. And it's about being adult about that and manning up and realizing that.
And communicating. I'm realizing more and more the biggest issue I've had in my own personal journey of recovery post-COVID has been more because I'm so in the eye of the storm that I'm not talking to the bank. You can negotiate with your bank.
Yeah, I didn't
People
know
don't
that was an
understand
option,
that. You can say, give me a 3-month payment holiday on this, so I can squash this, so I can get rid of that payment, that store card that is costing me $3,000 every month of money that doesn't actually exist. It's just interest that's feeding the system. You've got to be able to balance up, but talk.
But you know, people are often embarrassed.
Oh,
so
for
if
sure.
they're in that debt sort of spiral, they're very embarrassed. And but talk, be open, speak to people, you know, get advice if you need to, but get yourself out of it.
I love that. And it's something that I think even people that are maybe in a space where they are possibly out of debt, they're still at risk to getting back into debt. Now, I know this conversation is going to continue, and I know it's something that a lot of us are paying a lot of attention to. So we're going to carry on diving into this. And if you have any questions or want to share your experience, Mzansi, then you definitely want to come through right now. Send us a voice note. Use the number 063-408-8863. It's not often that you get an expert like this that's here to serve you and help you out of the hole. And it is a good conversation that you should be having with the loved ones and the people that are important to you as well, because this is a real situation that we're dealing with.
Trust fund kids, please send us a message as well, just so we can see what life is like on the other half.
Dive headfirst into dreamland by winning a double bed from the bed shop to the value of 5,000 Rand. To enter, comment on the competition post on the Clover Crush Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram pages and tell us how a brand new bed will help you unlock your 100%. Make sure you include the hashtag Crush in your answer. The competition closes on the 16th of April at midnight. T's and C's apply.
Hey, what's that?
This is Octifex, a new accessible platform to trade Forex on global markets.
Cool. What's a Forex?
It's short for foreign exchange, trading currencies.
Buy low, sell high. 4 points, right?
Exactly.
What's leverage?
It's like you got cool friends. They vouch for you, and you can trade it big.
Precisely.
So basically, it's an app where you learn and trade, and it's safe, and it looks good.
That about sums it up here. Octifex, trading made clear.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back. Thank you so much for rejoining our conversation. Important question, how comfortable are you with debt? I doubt there are many people who are comfortable with it at all, but it's a necessary evil, I think, in most people's lives. And we are, of course, putting it to you guys this morning to join in on that conversation, to tell us how you feel about good and bad debt. So we wanted to hear from you, and again, reiterating that this is a safe place. We wanted to know how you feel about debt, and we've had a couple of great comments coming through. Martha saying, I don't use my credit card regularly because I'm not comfortable with debt. With uncertainty of the economy and repo rate, I'm not considering big purchases on credit. Very, very stable mindset at the moment. Gary Oakham, the OG, if you understand finances and interest and compound interest, you can structure how you can utilize your cash. I use my credit card 90% of the time because of the incredible rewards I get, but make sure that my interest is kept to a bare minimum. If you're going to use your credit, pay it back. Our credit scores absolutely love that. Keep those comments coming, 0634068863 if you want to drop us a voice note as well. And in fact, we are back talking with our financial planner and author Sylvia Walker about the difference between good and bad debt. And we are trying to get answered this particular question: when did I overspend my financial means? I think a lot of people, unfortunately, cross that line and then look back and realize they've got a situation to fix. Just to reiterate again, because we're not trying to scare people away from a healthy debt or positive debt that can advance you, that can move you forward, be an investment in your education. Just to reiterate the notion of healthy debt, can you distill that into a description for us?
It's really debt that's going to help you to build your own wealth at the end of the day. I suppose that's it in a nutshell. If you're educating yourself, you're going to be able to earn more money. If you're buying a property to live in or an investment property, you're incurring debt. It's an asset that's going to be there for you to sell in future. So it's about building your own wealth.
I like the notion of investments, a great way to encapsulate that. If it feels like you're investing in your future in that way, generally you've found a positive slant. I love that. How much of, and I know you said this is a personal choice as to how much you can afford, but generally, is there a percentage? Do you work off like when I talk about an equation, a baseline of how much debt I should be tackling every month versus kind of other expenses? How do you in your world factor this in?
So there's a rough kind of rule of thumb that you shouldn't be servicing, your debt servicing shouldn't be more than about 36% of your income.
Okay.
The moment it goes over that, then you're over indebted. So that's a kind of rule of thumb, yeah. So that's paying back on your bond, any credit cards, whatever kind of debt that you have, 36%. But if you think about it, that's a sizable chunk. It's like a third of your money. And, you know, for anybody, actually, I think, rule of thumbs are great, but they don't work for everyone. It's when you reach your level of discomfort. When you no longer, you know, if you get that salary, it goes into your bank account, and after you've paid your debts, if there's not enough for you to live comfortably with cash for the rest of the month for everything else, then you have a problem.
Then you've got to look at that
and
equation.
You should actually realize that, you know, you should manage your debt, manage that situation, so that, as you say, it's not suddenly in hindsight, I'm like, I should have done something about it 6 months
Because
ago.
then it can be out of your control.
Yeah.
And that is a scary place to be. And I'll keep referencing COVID because that was a financial gateway that we've all had to go through. But I think in our industry in particular, we're so used to being able to hustle. And it was always the case of, well, if I need more money, I'm just going to go out and make more money.
Yeah.
And that's not always the case. You don't always have that option. What are the consequences of crossing that line, of taking on too much debt, even if it's done under this notion of feeling like you're investing in your future and moving forward, or just desperate and you have to take that money? What could the fallout be?
Yeah, because you could actually, I want to say, you could invest in your education and then not get that great job.
Yeah,
with the unemployment rate
or
in South
change
Africa.
careers.
Absolutely, absolutely. So obviously the impact then is that you need to get help somewhere. You can't sustain, it's like a hamster on a wheel. You can't sustain it. Even if you get the salary and you service the debt and there isn't enough money, you're going to have to go and buy groceries on your credit card, you know, or a week before, you know, swipe, whatever. So you need to then get help. You need to try and get out of that. And, you know, like you keep mentioning COVID, which obviously was impacted many people hugely. But in general, if you have a crisis, a financial crisis, 2 or 3 months maybe is what you should be incurring debt for, just to survive.
Yeah.
But if it becomes longer than that, it mustn't be a habit. You need to then make some dramatic changes. Scale down your property, you know, live smaller, take in a boarder, you know, look at other options, get rid of your car, maybe if you're paying off on a car. So scale down, but make a change, because you don't want to end up 6 months or 12 months down the line with all of that debt on the hope and the prayer that your situation will improve.
And when you talk about compound growth, you get compound debt as
Yes,
well,
yes,
unfortunately.
yes.
And when you're paying interest on 5 or 6 sources of money coming in, suddenly you feel that. Absolutely incredible way to look at this, but it's got to be practical. I think if you could leave us with one piece of advice for someone who is at that breaking point, how would you?
You know, I want to say face your realities. So I said earlier, people are embarrassed, and people sometimes also, like the ostrich, they put their head in the sand and they hope it'll go away. It doesn't go away. So my piece of advice is face your reality, sit and look at your situation long and hard, and make a plan to get out of it. You spoke earlier about selling things. I mean, that can be a quick fix.
Yeah.
But as I say, you maybe need to make some big changes in your life. Make those changes. Life is not about having a particular kind of house or particular kind of furnish. It's not about that. That doesn't make you happy. You can actually be terribly unhappy because you're in such a financial tight spot. So face your reality and make the changes that will be lasting in your life.
Yeah, and talk to people about it. You never know who's going to give you that gem, that piece of advice that can change the game. So whether you're in debt, stuck in debt, rooted in debt, or fear that you are heading in that direction, there are changes that you can make to help. Now, I understand it might be easier said than done. I certainly get that. And we wanted to lead by example. So sites like Yaga, it's Y-A-G-A, Yaga, have offered financial relief to people by offering a platform where you can sell high-valued goods in a trusted exchange, which makes a big difference in the space. So we went around the studio and grabbed a few items to list for sale. What makes this so easy is that we can set the value, the means of the delivery, and then there is a healthy exchange process as well, and safety. So we've created a profile and we've uploaded those items, and you'll see them around our studio, and we'll check in with you next week to see if anyone managed to pick up those items. And you'd be amazed at how much there is available, how much help there is out there if you do just talk about it and you communicate. But I cannot thank you enough. I've worked through a lot in my own, I don't know what you charge by the hour, but I'm going to pay you per 3-minute segment. But this has helped me a huge amount. And I think the first step is exactly that. Just take ownership. It cannot be worse than the anxiety of not knowing.
And don't be embarrassed, because lots of people are in the same boat.
And trust me, on every level of life, people are sweating right now. So don't judge yourself, take judgment out of the equation completely, and ask for help if you need it.
Yes, some Zanzig, come back to the feel-good life right now. It's time to take a break from all the tough decisions that we need to make with our finances. It's time to come through and enjoy the soft island life, man. Yeah, man. Yeah, man, and I brought my brother along with me for this one. I can talk like that all day, dude. It's so much fun.
This is what my life was missing. I didn't realize this.
You need this. You deserve this, G.
Certainly after a financial chat like that, you just got to chill out and live that
let's do that.
life, man. Or let the refreshing morning breeze wash you away in a serene island escape of smooth relaxation and freedom.
Yeah, bring on the freedom, man. And it's all about that zero feeling. And that's what we're talking about. Tropica Zero is here. And it's the new Tropica Island in a bottle, but with zero added sugar. Now, it comes in 3 smooth flavors: orange, pineapple, and mango peach. And of course, we're doing a taste test. My favorite part.
Yeah, my favorite has changed.
Oh, has it? Okay, well, let's find out if mine's going to change.
I'm not saying that I was influenced by Holly Ray, because she is quite influential.
What are we going to start with, orange?
Yeah, we always start with orange. So I'm going to see if it works out differently if I start the other way around. Okay, so I'm going to start with mango and peach, which is my new favorite.
Let me join you on that one.
And by some margin, pineapple was my favorite.
Oh, yeah?
But after yesterday, mango and peach. It's
I know we say it a lot, but
man.
It's smooth, man.
It's with 9 O's.
Mango and peach. I know it's just the first one, but this is really like pulling at my heartstrings right now. I think this might be a winner on my side.
It's going to be tough to beat. It's going to be tough to beat mango and peach.
You get something more a little zestier and take this pineapple.
Okay. Whew. This does feel like the island vibe. I won't lie.
We're actually working here for a second.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I don't know if you can call this work, bro, to be honest. Ooh. But again now, pineapple comes with smelling like summer.
Yeah, it adds a little bit more of a zestiness to it. It's just kind of a little bit different to the mango and peach.
It smells like beach and sunscreen.
That's all I'm getting. Just good,
sunshine.
it all just tastes like good times. How do you choose a winner? But I'm already on the orange.
Very
here.
nice. But I've got to say, mango and peach is still dominating.
Yeah, but orange, you're glad we left this one for last.
It's officially, I've infected you with my dad brain. And
orange is always a winner.
The OG for a reason, man.
Yeah, OG for sure. But you know what today? Seeing that we on the islands and I'm in the mood, yeah, and I'm feeling the vibes, man. It's the mango and peach for me. It's got to be.
We've both been influenced by Hottie Ray.
Is it? Are you going with the same one?
Yeah, no, I love them all. But for me, the mango and peach is just so smooth and it's delicious and it's nostalgic and refreshing and it just says everything about being planted on a beach somewhere. And that's what we want, man.
Yeah, Mzansi, now you can get in on this good life right now and experience that zero feeling with the smooth taste of the new Tropica Island in a bottle. Now, all these flavors are now available in stores, so look out for their black label and black cap and wherever it might take you after that. Like the islands. Cheers, brother.
You could always mix them.
Ooh, now we're talking naughty. Cheers, man.
Orange, mango and peach.
That's good. Yeah. I'm actually going to take them all. I can't decide, bro.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
It's just magic happening out here. Giselle Niemand in the building, the actor, the singer, the model, the dancer, the queen of what seems to be the future of the world. She's taking it all, and she has so much under her belt already. Firstly, I love the outfit. We resonating right now? Yeah, feeling this in the zone. Listen, I was listening to a conversation with G earlier. You honestly are doing the absolute most. On top of this, I heard something absolutely incredible happen. Not only were you doing that runway show for New York, but you also appeared on a whole billboard. What on earth? Talk to me about this. That is insane. What was that about?
So that was practically, obviously, for the New York Fashion Week. All the models get to be on the billboard.
Yeah.
And that was such an amazing feeling. When I saw myself in Times Square on that billboard, it was amazing. It still feels unreal that I actually saw myself up there in Times Square.
That's a dream, honestly. People work their entire life to achieve just that, but you've already done it, another notch on the belt. I gotta say, with everything that you're doing already at such a young age, maybe you can share some of your inspiration. What would you say to youngsters trying to replicate what you're doing and possibly right now seeing you do it and believing that you can do it? What do you have to say to them?
I would definitely say that it does take a lot of hard work, but I feel like everyone should believe in themselves and they should know that they have greatness inside of them and they can accomplish anything that they put their mind to.
Oh, and if you don't believe that, here's living proof right here, right now, Mzansi. And let me tell you, it's time to enjoy another session because Giselle Niemand is about to perform Flowers by Miley Cyrus. Take it away, stage is yours.
We were good, we were gold, kind of dream that can't be sold. We were right till we were to cry, but then remembered I can buy myself flowers, write my name in the sand, talk to myself for hours, say things you don't understand. I can take myself dancing, and I can hold my hand. I can love me better than you can. Can love me better. I can love me better, baby. Can love me better. I can love me better. Paint my nails cherry red, match the roses that you left. No remorse, no regret. I forgive every word you said. I didn't wanna leave, babe. I didn't wanna fight. Started to cry, but then remembered I can buy myself flowers, write my name in the sand, talk to myself for hours, say things you don't understand. I can take myself dancing, and I can hold my own hand. I can love me better than you can. Can love me better. I can love me better, baby. Can love me better. I can love me better, baby. Can love me better. I can love me better, baby. Ooh, I didn't wanna live, babe. I didn't wanna fight. Started to cry, but then remembered I can buy myself flowers, write my name in the sand, talk to myself for hours, say things you don't understand. I can take myself dancing, and I can hold my own hand. Yeah, I can love me better than. Yeah, I can love me better than you can love me better. I can love me better, baby. Can love me better.
One word. Wow, unbelievable stuff from Zanzi. That's how you do it. That's how you inspire a young nation, by just serving with the beautiful talent you've been blessed with. And don't go anywhere, because Giselle will be back with one more. That was absolutely incredible. For now, the official duties must commence. G standing by with the latest when it comes to the news headlines.
Thank you so much, Raul. Let's start here in South Africa. 3 of Cape Town's popular tourist destinations are now in the running to be named the World Travel Awards top destination in Africa. So I'm talking about Table Mountain, Robben Island, and the waterfront. They will compete with other popular destinations in Africa, such as Mount Kilimanjaro in Tanzania and the Pyramids of Giza in Egypt. Stiff competition. Now, the public and tourism and travel operators can vote for their favorites online. Table Mountain Cable Car Company CEO Wahida Parker says the World Travel Awards recognize, reward, and celebrate excellence in all sectors of the travel and tourism industry worldwide. Now, staying in South Africa, the Ntabankulu local municipality in the Wild Coast region of the Eastern Cape is now continuing its drive to position itself as one of the key players in the envisioned cannabis industry here in South Africa. So it sourced some 80 million rand to build an agricultural college that will train indigenous cannabis farmers. The government plans to establish a cannabis industry, and this has energized cannabis growers in the area to jump at the opportunity. Many young people also see the industry as a way to escape poverty. Now, casting a wider gaze on the international news front, the Italian Coast Guard is carrying out 2 large-scale operations to rescue some 1,200 migrants from overcrowded boats off the coast of Sicily. About 800 and some 400 people are on 2 fishing vessels, respectively. Italy's Coast Guard has already rescued around 2,000 people in other operations since Friday. The boat carrying some 400 people, which is believed to have set out from Tobruk in Libya, was still adrift without help late yesterday evening, according to Alarm Phone, an unofficial hotline for migrants in distress. Now, it seems that the UK is set to be one of the worst performing major economies in the world this year, says the International Monetary Fund, or the IMF. Now, it says the UK economy's performance in 2023 will be the worst among the 20 largest economies, known as the G20, which includes sanctions-hit Russia. Tells the tale. Now, the IMF predicts the UK economy will shrink this year, although this is a small upgrade from its last forecast. In fact, it now expects the UK economy to shrink by 0.3% in 2023 and then grow by 1% next year. Now, onto a project that uses invasive carp to feed underprivileged communities along the garden route and in the Little Karoo. And it has so far fed some 100,000 people and is continuing to grow. So the project is basically a combined effort between the Gift of the Givers, Cape Nature, and several other stakeholders. The carp, which are bad for local environment, is harvested and then used as much needed meals for those in need. A simple equation. This is viewed by stakeholders as a win-win situation. So carp is known as an invasive species, illegally introduced to the Groenvlei Lake in Sedgefield in the 1990s. Now, their growing numbers have led to poor water quality and the collapse of a once outstanding bass fishery. Now, mass fishing of carp is being done in an effort to return the lake to its former glory. This addresses the problem of invasive carp that has long plagued the garden route freshwater lakes and also tackles the problem of hunger exacerbated by COVID-19. Indeed, a win-win situation. Just the kind of stories we like to track early in the morning. Likewise, on the sporting front, I know a couple of happy fans out there. Let's get the latest from Riles.
Yeah, so much sporting action to dive into this morning. First up in soccer. Now, Manchester City took a giant stride towards the Champions League semi-finals, however, with an outstanding performance to overpower Bayern Munich 3-0. Now, Rodri opened the scoring with a screamer from outside the box, while Bernardo Silva added a second. And just 6 minutes later, and who else but Erling Haaland got his name on the score sheet for the 45th time this season. Now, elsewhere, Romelu Lukaku scored a brace, including an 82-minute penalty, as Inter Milan saw off Benfica 2-0. Well, from our European soccer action, we head over to the cricket pitch right now, and skipper Rohit Sharma smashed 65 runs as Mumbai Indians edged out Delhi Capitals by 6 wickets in a last-ball IPL thriller, and this to register their first win of the season. Now, Mumbai's chase of 173 moved to the final delivery when impact player Tim David and Cameron Green got the winning runs to hand hosts Delhi their 4th straight loss in as many matches. Earlier, David Warner also led by example with 51 runs as his side were bowled out with more than an over to spare. Now, Jason Behrendorff and Piyash Chawla also both took 3 wickets each. Well, from the cricket pitch, we head over to the tennis courts, and Novak Djokovic made a winning return to competition in the Monte Carlo Masters after beating Russian qualifier Ivan Gakov 7-6 and 6-2. Now, Djokovic is back on court after failing to get a waiver to enter the United States for last month's Indian Wells tournament and Miami Open, and this due to his anti-COVID vaccination stance. Elsewhere, Stefanos Tsitsipas advanced to the 3rd round after Frenchman Benjamin Bonzi retired with a left wrist issue after just 22 minutes, trading the Greek 4-1 in the first set. Now, Alex Zverev made a hesitant start to his clay court season before seeing off Kazakh Alexander Bublik 3-6, 6-2 and 6-4 in the first round. Now, finally, in our sporting action, MotoGP. Marc Marquez will miss MotoGP's Grand Prix of the Americas in Austin this weekend as he continues to recover from a hand injury. Now, the Spaniard underwent surgery to his right hand after a collision in the season opening race in Portugal last month. Now, Repsol Honda said in a statement that a decision had been taken to let the hand heal fully and avoid any unnecessary risks. Now, the 30-year-old has a stellar record at the Circuit of Americas, winning 6 years in a row between 2013 and 2018. Well, that was a final look at the latest sporting action. For now, though, it's time to hit the roads and see what's happening the latest when it comes to traffic. And here's G with it all.
Thank you so much. Well, let's start up north in Culinary in Gauteng. There is a stationary vehicle on the N3 northbound. That's after Galuli's interchange. Right lane is affected. Slow-moving traffic in that area. Please just allow for more travel time. Then moving down to Cape Town in the mother city, there is heavy congestion on the N2 inbound at Jake's Gerwel Drive. You can expect delays, and don't forget the I think a refill of the coffee before you hit the roads this morning. You might need it. And this news just in, Eskom has just announced stage 5 load shedding until further notice. So please remember, when you're on the roads, to approach all robots as a 4-way stop if they are not working. And stay safe and have a beautiful day. And in fact, let's find out what that day is going to look and feel like with the weather. So this morning, we again focus on matters of water, this time in the Western Cape, where authorities have set aside 1.1 billion rand toward its 15-year plan to manage future water supply and demand. Now, the province says it's being proactive to avoid a day zero, nearly experienced back in 2018. Premier Alan Winde says predictions are that the population of the city of Cape Town will have doubled to 8 million residents by the year 2030. It's quite alarming, and he says with the unpredictable rainy seasons and the increasing population, they need to be prepared. And plans include innovative technologies on the reuse of water, the preservation of aquifers, and tips on wise water usage. They also include a relook at water catchment areas so as to collect as much water as possible. Wendy added, and we quote, "While the country is currently consumed with load shedding and smart electricity usage, I suppose investments in bulk water projects and smart water usage must go on." Now, a big thank you to everyone who sent through your contributions this morning. And let's take a look at some of these beautiful sunrise images. Cherry in Kimberley snapped this beautiful view of the sun peeking through the leaves of that tree. Gorgeous, what a shot. Then Brad Bennett in Nkomas. Please say hello to the rest of our fans in Nkomas. We love you guys. Enjoying a brisk walk on the beach. Such a perfect start to the day. Beautiful. Then Cheslin from GQ out walking his dogs alongside the ocean. Must be feeling pretty blessed today. Then last up into Kozo, and Josie shared this stunning photo. Wow, look at that sky. Oh, that is a magnificent start today. Thank you so much. Please keep sharing those views with us. 063-408-8863. Right, let's see what the temperatures have in store for you on this brand new day. Starting in Polokwane, your low 10 going up to 25 degrees. And Mbombela 14 and 27, your range with a 42% chance of rain. Pretoria 12 and 25. Johannesburg ranging between 12 and 22. Mahikeng, your low 11 going up to 26. Klerksdorp 10 and 27. Kimberley 9 and 28. Bloemfontein ranging between 4 and 25. Richards Bay 19 and 27. Moving to Pietermaritzburg, your low 12 going up to 25 degrees. Durbs ranging between 18 and 25. Mthatha 10 and 24. East London, your low 16 going up to 22 degrees. Moving to Cradock, your low 11 degrees going up to only 26 degrees today. Gqeberha 13 is where you start your day. You'll thaw out at around 20. Moving to George, 11 your low, going up to 19 degrees today. Moving to the mother city, no rain today, but some cloud cover tempering that heat. 12 your low, going up to 18 degrees. Worcester, 6 your low, going up to 23. Then Sutherland, temperatures starting to shift a little. 8 your low, going up to only 21 degrees today. Uppington, enjoy the heat while it lasts. 10 your low, going up to 31 degrees. And it really doesn't look like much rain anywhere in the country, so I can say effectively it is going to be a beautiful day.
Oh, and we're about to make the day even more beautiful because, let me tell you, I'm so excited to present to you 3 beautiful souls. Yes, here we are. And we're about to dive into a very important conversation. We're going off the record. We're talking about self-acceptance, something that we all need more of. And we've got some specialists here to show us exactly how it's done. Don't go anywhere, Mzansi. This conversation will get interesting.
Are you struggling to find a transparent and honest broker? Well, get to know Opta FX. It offers clear trading conditions without hidden commissions, fees, and 0% swaps. In addition to that, depositing and withdrawing money has never been easier with convenient payment options including Ozo and popular South African banks. And rest assured, as a regulated broker here in South Africa, Opta FX prioritizes your safety and your security. So join the thousands of satisfied traders who trust Opta FX for their trading needs.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back. It's time to take another viral topic off the record. I could have done that better. Off the record. No, it's not that hectic or crazy. We're going to have a lot of fun with this one. Today, we are looking at one of America's sweethearts, Paris Hilton. She recently released Paris, the Memoir, and dropped the trailer for her documentary as well, which speaks about her journey through self-acceptance and how she opens up about trauma. And to help us unpack this conversation, we have media personality Carissa Capito, entertainer and a queen, Manila Von Teese, as well as social media influencer Tara Cannon. Guys, thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, a great opportunity to have a good conversation. I think we all need. Let's dive straight into it, Carissa. Let me just firstly talk about what is actually happening right now and what Paris Hilton is gone through, what she's been through, and maybe you can give insight into why you possibly think she's actually doing this in the first place. Why is she deciding to tell her story from her perspective, from her side? What's the reason for that, you think?
Absolutely. I thought it was quite interesting to see Paris in this light. I mean, she's now 40 plus years old, but we know her from the 90s of being the it girl, the OG influencer, you know?
She really was.
Before all of us were here. She really set the standard. We know her from the show she had with Nicole Richie as well throughout the ages. And I think for the longest time, because she is a child of a billionaire, I mean, her great-grandfather created and started the Hilton hotels. So I think for the longest time, her story was almost told for her, and she was seen in a very particular light. And we didn't know all the trauma that she went through. I didn't even know she had ADHD until she came out with this book and became more open about it. So I think she just decided that I want to tell the story in my own light, and people know me as this perfect figure, but I am very far from it. I actually was bullied when I was a teenager, and now I'm an advocate for others that have gone through the same thing. Also, my ADHD is a superpower, so let's talk about that and mental health. I thought it was quite refreshing to see that too.
Well, it's there are a lot of people who are going to be able to identify and connect when they 100%. Hear that term that they've been painted with, like ADHD. Suddenly it makes it easier for them to find their place in the world. But let's hear directly from Paris herself.
Paris, how you doing? Paris, can we get a picture, please? Marge out here, Paris, can we get a picture?
I am so much more than what you've seen. And now I'm finally sharing all sides of me, even the parts that don't conveniently fit other people's narratives. I am a sparkly pink mirage. I am a facilitator of good times. I am a survivor. I am the mother of the selfie. I, like anyone, am undefinable. Not just one thing, but all the things. And I am finally sharing my story. This is who I am.
Stay forever. You know more than anyone.
And let's hope it gets traction. I mean, let's hope it gets traction. So she spoke about a fellow celebrity that kind of prompted her to speak her truth. Do you know any more background as to who would have inspired that or what?
Yeah, Demi Lovato, who also in her own right has come forward as the picture of self-acceptance. It's been incredible to watch her journey from being a child star to where she is now, and the transformations she has gone under, the scrutiny, the public scrutiny that's happened to her. And I think, you know, there's this saying that goes, when you shine your light, you almost inspire others to do the same. And I think Paris saw something in a vulnerability and decided, hey, I can tell my truth too.
Yeah, I absolutely love it. Now, speaking of some, like, I think this ties into this whole notion of like self-discovery. Self-acceptance it's vital for us to live an authentic and true life. Manila, maybe I can lead this one your way, because you're literally someone that is embodying that to the fullest. It's like every day you wake up, you're celebrating who you are.
Exactly.
Why is the self-acceptance so important? And then what is the result for your self-acceptance been?
Well, I think for me, self-acceptance didn't come just by walking past the door. It was a long process for me, especially when you grow up in a colored environment. You're always picked on for your insecurities. So
100%.
I was definitely called Lipper because, for obvious reasons. But now it's something that I celebrate because it's something that I'm known for. And also all those kind of things, there's a lot of facets to ourselves. And accepting all of those facets can come to a wholesome being that kind of lives in their truth every single day, whether I have put on makeup, whether I'm not, when I'm not my normal self, then I realize, you know what? You are because you are who you are. And if you are in drag or if you're not in drag, or if you're at work, or you're at home, with family or not with friends, you always have to showcase that true self.
So true. And I just want to say, like, look where Lippa is now. It's one of your best features. It is honestly one of your best features.
I know. That's the thing. I'd always say, all those kind of things accumulated to who you are as a person today. And you could never, like, say, okay, fine, why did I go through this? Why did I go through that? If you just find the strength in those little things, you will come out powerful.
Those are the building blocks. That's literally how you build yourself up. Paris shared this on her account with the hashtag #ThisIsWhoIam, which encouraged people to embrace every part of themselves. So let's take a little gander now at some of the other celebrities who jumped on board.
I am a woman whose story doesn't fit into a tiny box.
I am someone who really cares about all of us taking care of each other.
I'm a friend, I'm a wife, a daughter, a sister.
I am an advocate for mental health.
I'm someone who knows that pretty girls can be smart and smart girls can be pretty.
I'm someone who's not afraid to move mountains to help another woman be successful.
I am a singer-songwriter with body dysmorphia.
I am an influencer who is terrified of social media.
I am a reader.
I am a confusing and beautiful mix of contradictions.
I am resilient.
I am 10-year-old me's dream woman.
I am smart. I am talented. I am a little bit of a hoarder.
I am definitely an introvert that has made a career out of being an extrovert.
I'm a knitter, I'm a crocheter.
I am an old lady, but I'm okay with it.
I'm an advocate for change.
I am a woman who is constantly in pursuit of her better self.
And I'm a comedian, a con artist,
a CEO, a yogi.
I am exhausted.
I am a sexual assault survivor, and I'm healing, and I'm helping other people heal.
I am Paris, and I'm finally telling my story.
Refreshing.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Tara, are you buying this? It feels like a wonderful pushback to so much of the negative nonsense that we unfortunately consume via social media platforms that I don't think we even know informs our self-dialogue, how we talk to ourselves, how we see each other, how we see ourselves. Is this the right kind of thing? Is this gratuitous to you? Is this just a bunch of happy, wealthy, good-looking people telling the rest of the world how happy, healthy, and good-looking they are? Is the vulnerability there? We talk about some of the personal journeys that some of these young stars have been through, dealing with addiction, dealing with some monsters. Is this to offset that, or is this just a great PR campaign? Put it into perspective for us.
Look, everything's a trend. There's always trends. So for me, I really think that this is actually authentic. I really think it's authentic. I think people are stepping into themselves. They are becoming okay with being themselves. They are setting the trends for others, you know what I mean? Like, if you see somebody who's got the same kind of skin as you, same hair as you, same, you know, they're the same as you, and you see them being authentic, that's encouraging to you as someone who's sitting at home, who's scared to say what they want to say, scared to be who they want to be. So I think this trend is actually, whoever started it is setting the trend, and it's definitely a ripple effect. It's continuing.
Yeah, and it's going to be there. It's going to be on people's timelines every day now, because there was a collective following of about 500 billion people. You look at the celebrities that are latching onto them. That's reach.
And that's something I want to maybe tie into, because, I mean, obviously with all this happening, obviously followers are paying attention, followers are taking note of this. Is this opening up a positive roadway for the followers that are following all this action, all this, for lack of a better term, trend? Is this something that is going to have a positive impact on the people that are watching this right now, do you think?
Positive and negative, because look, with all the positive, there's definitely a lot of negative, because there's like, people obviously have negative outlooks, and this is the truth. So your truth is never always happy. It's never always a good truth. There's an ugly truth as well. So with the positive comes a lot of negativity as well. So,
and I think with social media also, you have a lot of people now that's being actually real on social media. So this whole facade that Hollywood or celebrityism that created is actually gone or is dissipating. So now you actually have to show your real self in order for you to actually connect with your audience.
And that's a good trend. If it wasn't a trend, I'm here for it, right?
It's almost like the influencing is coming full circle now, where just when we thought it was about to collapse under the weight of its own nonsense, now you start to see these pockets of authenticity, of the individuals, of representation. And in our job, I think that has probably been the most powerful shift in the world's psyche, is the fact that everyone is digitally connected now, and they can see themselves doing something else somewhere else. And that is the switch that's been flicked. What does it mean to you, though? We'd love to hear from you this morning. 063-408-8863. We are talking about self-acceptance, very much spawned by what Paris Hilton has been doing with the release of her book and this movement. And she shared an excerpt from that memoir, and it reads as this: "The people who you hurt don't get the last word. You get to tell the story of you and your story, and that has more power than you can imagine." Regardless of how you feel about Paris Hilton, that kind of statement, that kind of message in the social media space is powerful, and we need to hear more of that. But we are going to continue this discussion off the record, which I have a feeling might be a little bit on the record because it's on live TV in just a moment. We'll see now.
Unlock your 100% this Wednesday evening at 7:30 as we meet a real estate agent who dreams of becoming a commercial diver. Let's get you out of the suit and into a different kind of suit.
Voila.
Pull and go down. Excellent.
Water. I'm on top of the world. Fantastic. I want to do that again.
Follow Cassidy Marriott's journey as he dives deep and takes his first breath underwater. Unlock your 100% Wednesday evenings at 7:30 on SABC2.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back to our off-the-record chat. And today we are talking about self-acceptance. And a little bit earlier, we spoke about a fan favorite, undoubtedly Paris Hilton, who has bared herself to the world for the first time, speaking about her traumas and how she learned to accept every part of herself, good and bad. And to help us unpack this conversation, we have got media personality Carissa Capito, entertainer and a queen, Manila Von Teese, and social media influencer and mom, Tara Cannon. Guys, thank you so much for sticking around. This is such an interesting chat because it's forcing us to kind of hold up a mirror and understand ourselves and embrace what that identity is. But it becomes so complicated because we've got energies coming from popular thought, from pop culture of what we should be acting like, the people that we look up to. Then you've got childhood trauma, which pretty much paints your life path for you in those first few years. Now, you've got to try to find your way to your true self in the midst of all of this craziness. How important is it to have media personalities like this, people who sit in these very visual places, just going through that process, whether they find that truth or not, just by starting that conversation? Why is this so important, do you think?
Oh my goodness, it's absolutely important. I think that, like you said, we grow up with all these ideas of what it is to be you. And although I do think self-acceptance comes from within, it does help to have other figures out there to just say that, you know, who you are can also be, to Tara's point, the ugly parts of who you are.
You've got to assimilate that.
You have to. It's not just the good parts. It's not just, oh, I'm cute and quirky and that's me. No, it's the truth of who you are. Holding up that mirror, to your point too, to say that this is my authentic truth. And like you said, we've had so many celebrities do this. Demi Lovato with her drug addiction that she was very open about. She didn't have to be.
Yeah.
But there's so many people's lives that she saved through her telling her real, true story. So I think we almost have a responsibility as media personalities.
And I think it's a two-way flow because it's given her purpose. Just like you can see, it's given Paris now, starting this, has given her a purpose and in a beautiful direction. Let more celebrities drive that kind of narrative. Tara, as a mom and an influencer, when we talk about being authentic, I mean, your little one, who's absolutely gorgeous, is going to see everything at some point. It's going to know this phase of your life. It's going to see it there. How important is it for you to represent both of you now authentically in this space?
It's so important because for my little girl as well, that's something I want her to see when she's growing up. When I was growing up, I didn't see anything like that. There was no positive, like, you know, raw, authentic personality like that. It was all a facade. It was all perfect. Your makeup must be perfect like that. So growing up, like now, like my kids, I want them to see that so that they can be themselves. They can be, you know, authentic and not scared of anything. As well.
And unfortunately, you can't tell kids this. You have to show them. You've got to repeatedly show them by living that truth. And I ask this of all of my wonderful guests because I'm so, and maybe it speaks to my own journey of trying to find self-acceptance and what a joy that I get to share perspectives like this every morning. Was there a moment, Minna, was there a tipping point? Was there one moment too many of having your face pushed down into the dirt? What was it that allowed you to do this and be yourself?
Well, I think for me, it's been quite a journey because I think through drag, I kind of found myself. And because I realized it takes a man to be a drag queen, a real man to be a drag queen. And it was more that I went through my journey of doing drag and also get acceptance from my family, as well as me fully accepting who I was, that I came to have that self-love that I probably desire everyone to have.
Because I suppose the danger is you are so much more than being the artist on a stage. And while, yes, that gives other people context and a way, a language to be able to start to relate to you, that's not who you are. That's
it's a
not
facet
your...
of me.
Yes, exactly. It's one lens to look through. And I think we far too often, we look through one lens at ourselves with a lot of judgment around that. Please, now that we've got a few lenses on you, can you stand up and walk us through this exquisite...
Well, this is the all-inclusive pride flag. I thought, if I'm going to represent, I might just represent everyone. And I just thought, just do something subtle for the daytime.
And I like the fact that you didn't wear much makeup either. You just kept it low-key.
And mascara, just chapstick.
So you are wearing something at least.
Just something, you know, for the moisture of the lips, you know?
And I mean, we laugh about this because we can, because we've walked part of this journey with you, but how important it is for other young people to see this right
Well, it literally comes down to that I never had people that I looked up to on social media wasn't around when I grew up. Facebook was there. But I never saw people on TV that I could relate to or resemble who I wanted to be or am. And that's why I always push wherever I go to be visible, to present to the best of my ability, because I want to showcase my whole community always and always make them proud in a sense, so that they are children that grow up. That grow up, they can see, oh, I identify with that. I see myself in that person. So.
Well, here's the thing, and how representation works. It's not for the 9 people who don't care. It's for the one person who does. Okay, that's how it works. Simple equation. If you're not one of the one, if you're the 9, doesn't matter. Move on. I get that. Yeah, accept it. Accept yourself. Let's flip the scripture. Who are you? Tell me who you are, if you can. Inspired by Paris, use this opportunity to tell me who you are. Warts and all.
I am authentically comfortable.
I like that. You made me more comfortable hearing that. Manila, dare I ask?
I am completely content with who I am.
That's wonderful, man. That's wonderful to hear.
No pressure. I mean, I've got a few. I think that I am ambitious, I'm a go-getter, I'm also super sensitive, and just a lover of life, really.
I'm a little bit of everything that you said. Ultimately, I just want people to feel better about themselves.
Yeah.
I think at its heart, that's what we're all about here. And certainly what these last few moments have been about. Thank you, guys, for walking the hard yards of this ugly journey to get to a point where you can smile about it and keep doing what you do every day, because clearly you are influencing in the right way. I am having my perspective shifted dramatically on what it means to be an influencer, to plug into social media, to have this daily, almost real-time connection with fans. So if you are in a position to do this, to show self-acceptance, find a way to do it today. Not for the 9 who don't matter, for the 1 who really does care. Please do it today.
I love this conversation. I want to get a part of this. I am grateful, I'm excited, and I'm inspired by the incredible women that we had this conversation with. And on the topic of self-acceptance, Woolworths has used non-traditional models in their new Beauty is You campaign. Now, that's to celebrate all forms of beauty and the fact that beauty is, in fact, you. Now, let's find out how Chad Felix sees himself and how he feels about being part of this incredible Beauty is You campaign.
I think I'm very excited to be a part of this campaign. I think it's been a long time coming. Beauty to me is about acceptance. I think for a long time, I've always been concerned about how people perceive me. And for the first time, it's more about me accepting who I am and showing up for myself and giving myself a lot more care and love.
Nice, I like that. I like the fact that we're using real people that all of us can identify with, can resonate with, and I think there lies the inspiration as well to allow us to accept ourselves.
Yeah, man, and trust me, you're the one who's going to have to come to that point. No one else is going to step in and do it for you. You have to accept how you look. I mean, you can always improve on elements of it, but you're going to be stuck with yourself for your whole life.
So you're someone that's gone through.
You looked at me like, how did you come to terms with this, buddy?
How did you get this? Look, man, you've been literally in the scrutiny of the eye for years now, in this position that you've played amongst the front of South Africa and the rest of the world. How have you dealt with yourself in this space? You're always serving
Buddy,
others.
I'm a mess, bro. Like everything else in my life, I'm crazy and overly emotional. And it's the same. I think the joy of getting to the age that I'm at now is you've got enough of a track record to understand yourself. You've seen the patterns, you've got the data, okay, whether you can now operate with that data. But it's amazing to me how, obviously having kids, I saw myself in a completely different light. And every day as a dad, you get to show how much you're growing and what matters to you and the kind of person that you really want to be.
Yes.
And through that process, you realize so much of what you were anchoring yourself in and holding on to in terms of your identity was that season. Was that phase, was that moment in time, was that relationship, were all of those other influences that spoke to everything other than who you actually are, dude. So I think by virtue of the fact that I've interviewed 10,000 amazing people like this, every person has a different take on it. It's a personal journey, but it's ultimately the journey. That has to be.
Yeah, it has to be. And I see so many that are on the other side of that journey, on the greener pastures. They get to walk around and celebrate life.
Let me put it in perspective. I remember asking Yus, I think it was on the second last interview that I did with him before he passed, and he was barely able to talk. And I remember asking him if he accepted himself now. And he couldn't fully answer me, but I saw in his eyes that then he did accept himself. In any other interview, I interviewed a man who didn't accept himself. Best player in the world in his position. Best looking guy in the team. He had everything. And he didn't accept himself until he was living in the service of others and helping people through the J9 Foundation. That's what earned him that badge. So
I love it. And
What
there
a
lies the
gift, man.
beauty of this conversation too, and the encouragement to allow you, Mzansi, to find yourself and celebrate that too. Now, on top of this, we want to celebrate and allow you to stand the chance to win 2,000 Rand in Woolies gift cards. And that's simply by replying to the competition post on Expresso's Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram pages and tell us, how do you deal with self-acceptance? The conversation has been so pertinent right now. But don't forget in your answer to include the hashtag WooliesBeauty and follow Woolies Beauty on Instagram. Now, the competition closes today at midnight. Your T's and C's can be found on expressoshow.com. Good luck.
We have invited food blogger of my hungry husband. We have.
It's my feel good breakfast show.
Welcome back to the third installment of the Culinary Hotline Bling. Ding, ding, ding. What was that? Oh my goodness. The Culinary Hotline Bling. Ding, ding, ding. That's a little better. Thank you. So as we mentioned, Eid is around the corner. We're looking for all the Eid inspiration. And Ilham, you've come through with the most amazing recipes this morning. If our viewers out there want to find more of your recipes, what's the name of your blog?
My Hungry Husband.
And it's full of recipes that include some amazing hits like?
This baklava that we're going to make.
Which is all you need to know. So baklava, not a balaclava.
No, not a balaclava, no.
Can we bring back the balaclava trend? Some people are saying yes. Look, our grannies were onto something. That whole vibe with the little pom-pom on the top and da-da-da-da-da.
For winter, I mean, it keeps your face warm, so...
Right? If you have a balaclava at home, please take a picture of yourself in a balaclava, send it to our Expresso Facebook page or Instagram page, and we will actually put it up on screen. Everyone's saying yes, and we will. Baklava, what is it though?
So this is I would say like a Middle Eastern sort of dessert. A lot of times it's served with coffee and like tea, you know. And this is a very simple recipe, very quick. And this hack that I'm going to give you now, I think it's just like completely blown my mind because it's so simple.
I'm here for the hacks.
I've got some phyllo dough, but it's just under this damp cloth because we don't want it to get dry.
Because when it gets dry, it gets all crusty and it breaks, and you can't mold it, you can't work with it. So the damp tea towel is a great idea. Also, make sure that it's clean.
Yes, of course.
Don't be doing
it's
the
not
dishes.
it's not the dirty.
No, it's clean.
It's clean.
It's clean.
Yeah.
We do have a voice note. Read some voice notes.
Yes.
Let's hear what of our viewers has to say.
Good morning, Expresso. I would like to know what to serve with corn tongue. I usually boil it the normal way on the pack. But I'd like to know what to serve with it and if there's any other ways of enhancing the flavor once it's boiled.
I like this one. Do you want to go?
Okay. So I was thinking in my family, you know, we like traditionally like a naan bread or something like that that's really soft to serve it with. I liked your idea of like the soft flour tortilla, taco vibe. But very simple. I'm like a simple gal, so I like, you know, cheese and that sort of thing with mine.
I get you. And I feel like you could also, what you can do is just make sure you don't overcook it so it becomes really dry.
Yeah.
You could glaze it. You could slice it and then glaze it, put it in the oven. What I do with it, which is really great, because I feel like it ticks all the comfort food boxes, is I make a bechamel or cheese sauce, or I even buy the cheese from Woolies.
Yeah.
And then I shred the corned beef and I mix it with gnocchi and I bake it. Because it's great for leftovers, but it becomes such a huge staple on its own.
Yeah.
So, like you said, we've shredded it, which is delicious. You serve yours with cheese. I love like really hot English mustard with corned beef.
Okay, or like an onion marmalade or something like that with some rocket and. Oh.
Yes, turn into a sandwich. But for sides as well, go for like your roast potatoes that go so well. Make it nice and rich. I mean, it's always like it's a celebratory like cut of meat. So we always say it on Christmas, Easter, Eid. So have all the sides: your cream spinach, your roast potatoes, the whole vibe. Have it with your corned beef. Corned beef is making a comeback because you can do so much with it.
It
I love it.
It goes a long way.
Yeah, it goes a long way.
A lot of people.
So we got our phyllo down and we've
Okay.
shaped it nicely.
Yes.
We kept it nice and damp so we can still work with it.
So you can make the syrup for me. So we've just got the simple syrup, which is we've got some water, some sugar, some honey, some lemon juice for a bit of acid. And then you can just, wait, let me actually just do this peel for you. So we've got an orange here. I'm just going to take a little bit of the peel off, so a little bit of the rind, and we can put that into our syrup as well. So just, oh, can you smell that orange?
Yes.
So fresh.
Ooh. Oh, it's citrus season. No wonder she's popping. It's amazing. So for South Africa, this is the rind or the zest, okay? This little white part is the pith. And you don't want that in the food because it's quite bitter. It's quite like, it takes like a little bit of that. It's just really sharp and bitter, so you don't want that. So this is what you want, which is that beautiful, it's got all the oils in there and the fragrances of it. And this is the pith, you don't want that. So this is gonna go in and that's gonna flavor our simple syrup. And the honey, that goes in as well?
And the honey goes in. And then, so remember when we're making something like baklava or even like kusisters, anything that's going to take a syrup on, and we want that syrup to actually absorb into this. One thing needs to be hot and one thing needs to be cold.
Okay.
So for this one, when this comes out of the oven, you would have needed to have made that and cooled it down already. So that this is hot, that is cold, and then you're gonna pour that over once it comes out of the oven so it can fully absorb. So I've got a little baking dish here and I've got my phyllo pastry. And the hack that this is so much quicker than your regular baklava recipes is because you're basically just going to take your phyllo dough, put it down.
Like somewhat like a whole 8 sheets at once?
Just all the sheets. So, you know, normally you have to like butter each sheet.
Yeah.
I mean, who has time for that?
Who has time?
So I've got some nuts here that have just been blended in a processor, and I'm adding some lemon zest and some cinnamon, and then we just need a pinch of salt. I know that sounds strange, but the salt actually brings out the natural flavor.
And what's the combination of the nuts you have in that bowl?
So there's some almonds, some pistachios. You can even do seeds. Like I know if people have like allergies to nuts, then you could totally do like a seed mixture.
Like sesame?
Yeah, or pumpkin seeds, sunflower seeds.
That's
and
cool.
then, you know, it's slightly healthier and also it will be more cost effective than having to buy a whole lot of expensive nuts. You could maybe just do a little bit of the nuts and then top it up with your seeds. So I'm going to put a nice layer of these nuts directly onto my phyllo.
I feel like this still makes a really amazing Eid dish because it is very, very fragrant. I mean, I've got the beautiful syrup here. All I'm smelling is that citrus. We only added one little sliver of zest, but also I know I've seen variations where we use rose water, which is also beautiful, and I think it just ties in perfectly with Eid.
It does. So, you know, like rose water is probably like that one flavor that I would always go to. So like rose water, cardamom, or even something like a ginger. Orange blossom water is a really nice...
but a little goes a long way, right?
A little goes a very long way.
You don't want to be smelling like
No, you're
I don't
not
know what
making like
perfume.
air freshener.
You know what it's not like air freshener?
No.
Because it's like an accent.
Yes.
It's not like the whole vibe. It's beautiful. I love it.
So then once I've got my nuts on, I'm just going to put my second lot of sheets on top. And then at this point, I'm going to cut into my baklava. So whichever shape that you want to make, you can just cut into it.
So the trick is actually to cut before you bake. Obviously,
Yes.
once it's baked, it's all fragile and glossy in a
Yes.
sense, and then it's going to crack.
And then this part is also really important because we are going to just pour our butter over. So we want the butter to get into all of those little nooks and crannies. And that way, it saves us time because we don't have to physically butter each sheet.
Have you seen this thing we do in the show where we get like our presenters to pour stuff like chocolate or butter or something ooey gooey and delicious? And then we have this magic DJ upstairs that plays amazing music. Have you seen that before?
No, I haven't. Are you gonna show
Yeah,
me?
so what you're gonna do now is you're gonna have to look in the camera and you're gonna pour the butter and magically the music just starts playing. But you have to give South Africa your like special like look. You know what I mean? Have you got that? Have you got that?
I mean, I'm gonna try.
There we go. Okay,
I'm
in the
gonna
camera, in the camera. Oh, okay, this camera over here. I want to get nice and close.
Okay.
Okay, so you're busy. Okay, so you're looking in that camera and you're gonna give them your
my special look.
Special look, and you're gonna pour slowly. You gotta
Okay.
mean it. Oh.
Oh, okay, okay, okay.
That's the way. That's the way. That's the way. Yes. Someone's saying, is it halal? I don't know. I don't know. So now what you're gonna do is you're gonna take it like this, and you look in the camera and you go, swirl it. Girl, do you swirl? You can rock my world. That's inappropriate.
It's very
inappropriate.
My husband isn't.
It's just how we do it in the morning. Food's all about emotion. You did a great. Can we give her a hand? What's your husband gonna say right now?
I don't know. I think he's gonna phone me and be like, "What's going on?"
Make sure to our social media team. Make sure you cut this from this clip. Now put it on every single social media platform. Boost it. Boost it. That looks amazing. Absolutely amazing. The combination of the nuts, the crispy pastry, the butter that's in there. It's just gonna soak in those nuts. When does this go on? This goes on when it comes out.
This is going to bake at like 180 until it's nice and golden brown and all that butter has been absorbed. You're going to pour that over. You can dress it up with maybe some dried rose petals.
Oh, yes.
And then serve it with some ice cream or something while it's still warm, you know?
Yeah. Send the people an amazing Eid message out there. Don't forget to remind them to barakat, guys, barakat. Send them a message.
I just want to wish everyone who's celebrating Eid Mubarak. And I hope you have a lovely day with your families.
Barakat in the box. Put it in. Send it to us. We're going to try it. Have an amazing Eid, South Africa. We're back next week. I'm not going to spoil it, but it's going to be another showstopper of Culinary Hotline Bling. We want to hear more of your suggestions. Go to Facebook, go to Instagram. What do you want to see us do on the Culinary Hotline Bling? People, can I get the loudest ting, ting, ting you've ever in your life? Culinary Hotline Bling! Ting, ting, ting!
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back. Oh, your timing is perfect. One last performance to squeeze in with young superstar Giselle Niemand. So good to be catching up with you. We've spoken a lot about all the craziness that has come over the last couple of years. What craziness is ahead? What are the plans for this year?
Well, I would definitely say that there are some new original songs that will be coming out this year, and I will be doing actually Paris Fashion Week, London Fashion Week, Milan Fashion Week, and Orlando Fashion Week this year coming up soon.
Get out. And she still has time to make new music. That's absolutely amazing. Keep taking it in your stride. Just stay exactly as you are. You haven't changed from the second we met you, so I figure you're going to stay exactly as you are, which is a beautiful thing. Thank you so much for also just being authentically you. In whatever guise, whatever stage you're on, whatever runway, you are still Giselle Niemand. Just a different version of, which we are loving seeing the superstar version of, but stay true to yourself, because as we've learned today, it matters. For young women, young people to see you being you is a very, very important thing. So thank you. And just being so awesome. If only we could all have talent like this. Well, you can revel in the talent one more time this morning. Hopefully she won't wait too long before coming back, but one last time today. Here is Giselle Niemand singing The Story. Enjoy.
All of these lines across my face tell you a story of who I am. So many stories of where I've been and how I got to where I am. Oh, with the
I'm glad that the nails got in there as well.
Yeah. I can't clap because everything will fall off.
Exactly, you can't move. No, we've seen you move, girl. We've seen you move. Thank you so much, guys. I have a feeling for the rest of the day we're going to be processing. I was just watching you drifting off there, like just contemplating the meaning of life.
Yeah.
But it's been that kind of show, so thank you so much. Any advice you want to leave these amazing people who have been watching for the last 3 hours?
I would say in terms of self-acceptance, it really is a choice you make every day.
Yeah.
For me, it's actually a choice I make moment to moment. You know, we get fed all these external things of who to be and what to be, but to choose you is like the most radical act of self-love. So I'd encourage people to do that.
It doesn't have to be a big choice, it can be a little choice. I like that, moment to moment.
Well, I want to ask for you, experiencing and going through so many polarities in life, and now, in my opinion, living on the greener side, in basking in the pastures.
What sort of like... green mean? Often it's money.
But, I mean, from a personal point of view, the feeling of coming to yourself, being true to yourself, what is that actually like? Because not many people can actually confidently say they know what that feels like.
Don't get there.
It's a lot of love that comes with it, and I think what you said, self-love, self-awareness, all of that kind of just makes you the person that you are. And I think it's a beautiful feeling. It's a love for yourself. It's a warmth that you have for yourself. When you look into a mirror, you may see some flaws because growing older, you get flaws. But finding those small things that you love about yourself and accentuate that. I'll always say, if you don't like yourself today, paint your toenails, and if your toenails look stunning, I feel stunning.
Yeah, 100%.
Nice. I like that. It's like a suit of armor for the day.
And let's be honest, man, as the song says, it's the lines on my face that tell the story, baby. So you've got to embrace those lines. What a privilege to do this show with you today, man, and to all of the guests. Just so wonderful and so loving. And I think that's the take-home for me. When you start from a basis point of love, everything else will fall into place, honestly. And it starts with self-love. So start caring about yourself just a little bit. If nothing else, just go and paint your toes.
From all of us here at the Expresso Show, I want to say thank you once again. Giselle, you've been absolutely incredible.
We love you, Giselle, so much!
And of course, the rest of you, Mzansi, thank you for joining in on this incredible conversation. We'll see you in the morning, bright and early, and carry on with all the magic. Have a beautiful day.
We love you. Don't forget it. Adios.
Better food choices never tasted so good, nor were they ever so easy as the range of healthy living options. Made with love by Clover.
Another feel-good production.